All right. Welcome to Only Comics. I'm Mike. That's Adrian.
What's up, man?
What's up, dude?
Last 2 days pretty shitty.
It is, yeah. So we're probably coming at you later than usual.
Yeah.
But we had some storms. We had some trees down. Not
Yeah.
storm like the Marvel storm. Like storm.
I don't know. Maybe
through.
she was up in this bitch, man, because it was a lot of stuff down, dude. Trees all over the road, trees in the houses.
Yep.
Branches snapped up. It's been crazy.
So where we record, we lost power. So we showed up, yesterday to do this, and we're like, oh, we can't do this in the dark with our camera phones. So we went home. So it's a little late, but hopefully everybody out there is safe. It seems like a good part of the country got, or at least up here in the Northeast, got pretty fucked up this past week.
Yeah. Well, I heard, I'm on different training and stuff, and there was like a live Zoom call, and people are chiming in, talking about how bad the storms were where they were.
Yep.
And the host was in Atlanta, so she was having some shit going on. And other people from other parts of the country also. So this is like a
pretty shitty
seaboard,
weekend. Yeah.
Seaboard kind of a deal.
Man, well, happy 4th, everyone. Hope you enjoyed your 4th. Right. The storm. Nobody showed up for the World Fair, It's funny. It's funny that we're going to talk about, we're getting a little bit of other stuff right now, but on other stuff, we're going to talk about the World Fair, Tartaria, and then Trump decided to have his World Fair,
Oh, okay. So we weren't. So you weren't. I initially went right to the Trump fair instead of the other one. But hey,
well, there's not much to talk about with the Trump fair. There's like 12 people there. Well, but anyways, I'm assuming none of you guys probably went to that. But hopefully everyone's safe out there. You got power. You got back. But we got a lot of shit to talk about today, Adrian. X-Men 97, first 3 episodes dropped. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But before that, we're going to get into some news and rumors. Spider-Man Brand New Day. I'm rocking the Spidey gear, Adrian. Spider-Man's dropping in a few weeks here. And there's already some projections for how this movie is going to open up. And believe it or not, it's going to be a big fucking box office opening. You surprised by that?
No.
Spider-Man, he's one of those constants, right?
Right.
And the MCU's done a great job with Spider-Man movies so far. But right now, it's projected to open at $228 million domestically. Okay. Way more than Supergirl, by the way.
Right.
If you take Supergirl's number and you add 200 million to it, that would probably be close to what this was.
Wait a minute. So what's the time frame? Just for the weekend?
Just for the weekend.
Oh, shit.
Yep. So not a bad opening.
No.
Now, I always like to bring perspective, because if you just hear that number, it seems like a massive number. But I wanted to see, where does that rank among MCU openings? Because they've had some box office smashes, right?
Sure.
So I got a list here, Adrian, of the top 10. Matter of fact, before I show you the list, I'm going to tell you where if Spider-Man Brand New Day lands at $228 million, it will be the 4th biggest movie in the MCU as far as an opening week goes, okay? Would you guess which? Give me one or two that you think would be above that on this list. It's not Captain Marvel, I'll tell you that.
No, it's probably not. Shit. I don't know. It's got to be one of the Black Panther.
Nope. Black Panther actually is 2 spots below this.
Okay.
I'll give you the whole list here. We'll start the fucking bottom. So number 10 on this list is Captain America: Civil War. 179 million first week. It finished at 1.1 billion. Black Panther 2: Wakanda Forever is number 9 with 181 million. Finished at 859, so that thing kind of fizzled out pretty quick. Yep. Doctor Strange 2, I'm not reading the full name. I'm not doing that. 187 million. That thing finished at 955. Avengers Age of Ultron, 191 million. That finished at 1.4. Black Panther's number 6 on the list, Adrian, 202 million. So it's the first 200 million opening domestically. And then worldwide, it finished at 1.3. The first Avengers movie, 207. That finished at 1.5 billion. Deadpool Wolverine, that is the most recent entry on this list. 211 million first week, and that thing finished at 1.3 billion. So if Spider-Man hits that 228 million, it's going to be right above that Deadpool Wolverine. So, I think it's a no-brainer. It's going to be $1 billion film, right? Yeah. That's kind of, that goes without saying. I'll give you the 3 above that, and then I got some questions, Adrian. So number 3, Avengers Infinity War, 257 debut weekend, finished at 2 billion. Spider-Man No Way Home, 260 million. So that actually opened up bigger as the number 2 MCU movie opening, but it only finished, it finished at 1.9 billion. And then Endgame was the biggest movie of all time until James Cameron had to release fucking Avatar 3 more times. 357 million opening and 2.7 billion, almost 3 billion worldwide. So my first question on here is, do you think Spider-Man Brand New Day is going to be the first $2 billion Spider-Man movie? Do you think it will eclipse?
Wait a minute, didn't you just say Endgame was 2 billion?
Yeah, I'm saying first 2 billion Spider-Man movie.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
I think so too, dude. There's a
yeah.
lot of momentum right now. And I don't know about you, man. I'm hungry for a good Marvel movie. Like, it's been some time, dude, you know?
And what'll be interesting is that you'll have 2 Spidey, 2 Avengers in the top 5, right?
Right. Yes. And then when we said that Spider-Man was more popular than like fucking everybody, people lost their, oh my God, no, you don't say that. That's wrong. Dude, the numbers speak for themselves.
And there's that.
He's a guaranteed $1 billion movie here. And I think it's got a pretty good fucking chance to hit 2 billion.
And then you look at this a list like that and be like, oh, he's not, the most popular. You got the Avengers. Well, the Avengers are a team.
Right. Yeah.
Spidey is one individual.
And he's in 2 of those fucking movies too. So there you go. And he's in Civil War. And Adrian, you're going to hate this part. T'Challa's in a bunch of these movies, but he's not going to be. Well, we don't know yet. We don't know. He could be in Secret Wars. But I got my tickets already. I'm amped up, ready to go to this thing. We got literally a few weeks away, July 31st. So speaking of Avengers, though, Secret Wars is a movie we talked a little bit about. We're pretty doomsday heavy right now, right? Since that's in December. But there's a rumor about Secret Wars, and I'm going to tell you, Adrian, I'm not as excited about this piece of news as I was the last one, okay? So the rumor is that, I'll tell you, this fella here, Daniel Richman, I never give the scoopers credit, but there you go, Daniel. He says that he claims the main focus of Secret Wars will be on team-ups involving characters who didn't get much or any screen time in Doomsday. First part I get, right? You get 2 Avengers movies. The guys that are in the forefront of Doomsday, people that are kind of left out, maybe they'll get some more screen time in Secret Wars. Okay. Then this other cat here chimed in, Cryptic 4 or something. He says that some characters will have big roles in Avengers Doomsday and have smaller roles in Secret Wars. Okay. And they go on. It'll focus, this is the part, brace yourself. It'll focus more on the younger cast, guided by a few adult advisors and new mutants that will go up against Doom and some defectors. So, and then the guy says from his sources, it sounds like a Children's Crusade sort of story because Marvel wants to make the younger cast have an impact before the saga ends. So I'm going to say this, Adrian, hearing that piece of news does not make me excited for Secret Wars. And I'll tell you why. We've seen tons of characters on screen. They've done a great job with the classics, Cap, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Hulk, right? Up until the fucking breaking the arm bullshit. They've not done a great job with the younger cast. Like, when I hear that, who the fuck are they talking about? Is it going to be Billy from fucking Agatha, Kate Bishop, Ms. Marvel, Echo, Ironheart? Like, I think that's a mistake. Yeah. They've not done a great job building those characters up, and I don't think anybody wants to see the MCU's fucking backyard again, saving the day in Secret Wars. I mean, am I crashing? Am I crazy for that?
No, I think you're spot on with that. They've done such a terrible job in Echo. I mean, come on, dog. They've done such a terrible job. I understand they're trying to pull them up,
sure,
but that's not the venue to do that kind of a thing.
And I don't know, and these names I'm just throwing out because when I hear, the younger characters, that's who comes to mind. I don't know who. I mean, Spider-Man, I guess, would technically be a younger character, but not anymore. Dude's growing up, and he's been in a ton of movies. So I think if that happens, it's a major mistake. And because of the fact that you've not gotten these, like in WWE, there's a term called over. Okay, that means you're getting the reaction from the crowd you're supposed to get. If you're a good guy, they're cheering you. Oh my God, it's Adrian's gonna win. If you're a bad guy, they're boo, you fucking suck. But you're over. You get no reaction, that's worse. If you're up there and you're supposed to be hated and people are getting up to, go, oh, fuck this guy, we don't care. Like if they don't care enough to boo you or care enough to cheer you, you've not done your job.
Damn.
I would say that Marvel has not gotten these characters over.
Sure.
I don't give a fuck about Echo. I don't give a fuck about Ironheart.
Right.
I Billy Maximoff, I give a little bit of a shit more than everyone else just because, he's related to Scarlet Witch. But outside of that, Kate Bishop, maybe. Ms. Marvel, I don't know. We've seen her in a big movie, and it wasn't all that. I think the mistake they made, too, is in the past, they introduced characters in movies and then gave them shows. These characters, they just made a show about them that nobody fucking watched. Right. She-Hulk, you know? So I think this is a mistake if they go that route. Another mistake, Adrian, we talked about Supergirl a couple weeks ago. I went to see it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was that bad. The funny thing is there's a lot of people shitting on it, but no one went to see it either. So I'm like, bro, how are you shitting on the movie? I'm not, being a Supergirl defender, but there's a lot of negative takes on the movie. But based off the box office, nobody went to see this motherfucker. Wow. And there's other ways to access media, right? You know, some guy in the comments was like, I tried to watch it online last night. If you know, you know. Like, nah, dude, I'm not trying to infect my computer with fucking digital herpes or whatever. Back in the day, you download a song and shit, and all of a sudden your computer freezes up. But you just download the real Slim Shady, though. You got that one song that took 32 minutes to download. Right. But Supergirl, they're saying, before I even say this, I'm gonna give you a warning about what we're gonna talk about for the next few minutes is DC, Adrian. And I'm gonna tell you that most of it's not gonna be good. Damn. Okay. Yep. And now I've been called a couple things. I've been called a lot of things online. I've been called a James Gunn hater. I've been called a James Gunn glazer. I'm neither. If you do something I like, I'll tell you I like it. And if you don't, I'll fucking tell you I don't. Okay. Sure. I liked Superman. He did that. I liked 2 out of 3 of the Guardians movies, right? I did not like the Suicide Squad. But anyways, he is the captain of this DCU ship, right? Yep. He's the man in charge. And so far, up until Supergirl, I'd say so far, so good. Superman did decent numbers. It was only in the theaters for a few weeks, right? They yanked it because of Peacemaker. Peacemaker season 2, I enjoyed it. It was good. Yep. Creature Commandos is probably the best project he's done so far, right? It was a great show. Supergirl, I enjoyed it. He didn't direct this, but I enjoyed it. Didn't do so well box office wise, but there's some rumbles. First, Supergirl. We talked about how bad the numbers were last week. The worldwide total right now is at like 83 million. We just talked about Spider-Man, domestically debuting at 230 something million. But it should be close to about 100 million. We're actually, by the time y'all fucking watching, it's probably at 100 million, which is not good. The worst DC EU movie from a box office standpoint was Wonder Woman 1984. I've never seen this movie. You seen this one, the second Wonder Woman?
I saw parts of it, but it was so bad I couldn't even.
Yeah, I heard it was horrible. Yeah. That movie finished at 169.6 million worldwide. And it came out during the pandemic. So, dude, if Supergirl can't even do fucking Wonder Woman pandemic numbers, right? Holy shit. Now, again, I'm not shitting on the movie. I liked it. I'll even watch it again when it hits streaming. But I got a question, Adrian. Does Supergirl fall under the category of who the fuck asked for this? As far as the character being focused on in the movie?
Her own movie?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
And then the second question is Supergirl really the character that you should make your second movie of your brand new cinematic? No. You could build to this because the counter argument is who asked for Guardians, who asked for Doctor Strange, right? But my counter to that would be those came after. The first movie was Iron Man, Hulk, Cap, Thor, sure. Avengers. They hit they played the hits, right? The classics. You go to a concert, artist's been around for a couple of decades, bro. We don't want to hear the new music you've been working on. We want to hear the hits, bro. Play the classics. And I think that was a mistake, honestly. Looking at it, I think it was a mistake to make. It wasn't a mistake to make that movie. It was a mistake to release it now as your second movie.
Sure. When you have so many, actually, it's crazy. To this day, you think about Marvel, and you can just literally vomit a fucking list of
look at the fucking thing behind me.
Right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to DC, it's like you think about like a handful of people,
right?
But even so. James Gunn took over controls, and he come out with this for his second super movie. I mean, there's so many other characters that he could have done that are so much stronger, popular, so on and so forth, than Supergirl.
Would have been a better option to just do Superman 2?
You could have just done that.
Right.
I mean, he was in half the movie anyway. Oh, okay, a quarter of it.
Yeah, a couple scenes.
Yeah.
But it would have probably been a lot better than just do that. Now you could say, oh, well, Man of Tomorrow's the kind of sequel, maybe. Yeah, dude, I think that there's a number of this movie did poorly, not because it was a bad movie, in my opinion. It did poorly because the marketing sucked.
Right.
And also, I don't think people wanted a Supergirl movie. I think that's something you'd had to build to. I think you do the opposite. Have her featured in Superman shit here and there.
Right.
Have her pop in and out. Make us want to know, her story.
Right.
So I guess it's different when you're doing content because we're gonna watch the shit anyways. But most people obviously did not. Now, we talked about James Gunn's contract that may be up in the next year or so. I don't remember. A few months ago, that was a rumor, right? So that rumor's resurfaced, and it's either up at the end of 26 or 27, and the latest is people are saying April of 27. Okay, so I mean, if it's up and they don't renew it, he's gonna have one more fucking movie. You got Lanterns coming out in about a month, right? I think that'll be decent. I don't know if they'll be able to. Who knows, right? Hopefully they don't fuck that up. But there's a couple other things in the works, some shows. So one of them is a DC crime TV series that also falls under that same category of who the fuck asked for this, revolving around Jimmy Olsen.
Who?
Jimmy Olsen, the guy at the Daily Planet.
Who the fuck want to see Jimmy Olsen? What are you gonna do? Take pictures or some shit? Throughout the whole fucking thing? Oh, we're gonna watch Superman's world through the lens of Jimmy Olsen.
Of everybody else but Superman, apparently. So you got that. Now there's another show. This was unannounced. This is new news to me, at least. Mr. Terrific TV series. How do you feel about that?
So, along the same line as Jimmy Olsen.
Okay.
Who gives a fuck? I mean, great step in.
Yeah.
And they're there for a moment. Nobody knows who Mr. Terrific is.
Well, we just saw him in Superman.
I understand it, but before that.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy did a good job.
He did.
But I'm not. If they did a good job doing a movie, I would obviously see it and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I would see it if it was bad. But that's not one of the characters I'm like, oh, bring him out.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many others that I would want to see.
Part of me with the Mr. Terrific is I don't think everybody needs a show or movie.
That's what I'm saying.
That character, I thought he did a great job, and he got some redemption because he played fucking Azazel in he played? He played somebody in X-Men First Class. It wasn't Azazel. It was starts with a fuck was his name? Damien, maybe? I don't know. Anyways, he played someone they fucked up because the guy was supposed to be immortal, and Sebastian Shaw just killed him in like 4 seconds. So he got his redemption here. I think he did a great job as Mr. Terrific, but Mr. Terrific's one of those characters like a Lobo. I don't need to see him in a whole show or movie, I don't think.
No.
I don't, he has no emotion at all. He don't do fucking feelings. It's almost like that guy's better in doses. I don't need it all explained.
Hey, build a watchtower, fill that up, and then put Mr. Terrific in, managing that, which is what he was doing.
There you go. So that one, but when you say they have obviously, other characters that should come first, is it too soon to do another Flash movie? Is it too soon to do a different Aquaman movie? Or should they just fucking go with the classics?
Well, those are the classics.
Right.
Superman, Batman, Robin. We just talking about the heroes, not even the villains.
Right.
Right. The Flash, Wonder Woman. I want to say Hawkman, Hawkgirl, but not really. As part of the Justice League, but not their own shit.
Right, they don't need their own movie. Yeah.
So those cats. I mean, just reinvent those,
right?
And you'll be so much better. But see how hard it is just to think of like 5 people on DC side, where literally you can just like fucking pull out a mental scroll of Marvel shit.
Dude, I tried to get one of those of DC. They said they don't exist. Is that okay? The item you're looking for does not exist. What the fuck, man? Seriously. But I don't think it's too soon to do another Flash movie.
No, please do another Flash immediately.
Right.
To erase the bullshit. Get that taste out your mouth.
It's like a palate cleanser. We need to cleanse our palate of Ezra Miller. No Diddy. So now we're just getting started on the DC stuff, dude. We're just getting started on the James Gunn. So that's the first. If I had to pick between these two shows, give me the Mr. Terrific, but I really don't need either one of them, to be honest.
Correct.
Here's an idea. Let's build to Justice League properly this time.
Yeah.
Let's not jump ahead. We don't need the whole Justice League in the next movie.
Mm-hmm.
Let's give these characters. I mean, now's the time for some origins.
Mm-hmm.
Now's the time for some these characters working on their own for a little bit.
Right.
So I'm not a fan of either one of these rumors or this news piece. They call this a bombshell report here, Adrian. There's been some creative clashes in DC. There's been some creative clashes on the Supergirl movie. So James Gunn, he is the co-CEO of DC Studios, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So he's the head honcho or the co-head honcho. Craig Gillespie was the director, the filmmaker for Supergirl. Supposedly they had creative differences over the direction of the movie, and they never really found their footing in the post-production process. This is one insider, it was their opinion on it. So they said they weren't creatively aligned. That's a polite way of describing things.
Right.
Now, some other insiders would say that the friction was healthy. Whatever. I'm not buying that. Yeah. The friction probably was not healthy. But I wanted to point out some things, and it's funny. It's not funny because I get tired of being right, Adrian. It's a burden. Remember back when we were talking about Peacemaker?
Yeah.
My big issue I like Peacemaker, by the way. My big issue was the fucking music. Every goddamn 4 minutes, we got a rock and roll breakdown, some band nobody gives a shit about, and every episode has to have some rock and roll montage, right? I think James Gunn gets overglazed for his needle drops, as they call them. Like, did anything stand out to you about the music of Supergirl? Were you blown away by the song selection?
No.
No. I thought it fucking sucked. I think movies like the Deadpool series, even James Gunn on Guardians had way better needle drops than this. So that's where some of this creative clashing happened. Originally, they were supposed to use a cover of Cyndi Lauper's Girls Just Want to Have Fun for the final battle. And then instead it was this Jimmy Eats World's The Middle. That was the song that was chosen by James Gunn, not Gillespie. So imagine that. Imagine I'm in charge of DC, but I said, Adrian, you're directing a Supergirl movie.
Mm-hmm.
And you got your song in mind, and I just pop in and go, no, we're not going to use that song. We're use my song. Mm. You're the one making the fucking movie.
Right.
So you got James Gunn with his little fucking gun over here, fighting his way into Supergirl and picking his own shitty-ass fucking needle drops. So there was that piece. And they said from that point on, now let me back up. They also did some test screening, right? Mm-hmm. And even though the test screening somewhat favored Gillespie's version, the version that we got in the theaters supposedly was James Gunn's version of the film. So if Gillespie and they had any differences, he would have to advocate like crazy to get his shit in his own movie. So what they're saying now is the version we saw in the theaters is not the one that this director wanted to put. We've heard a lot of this shit before, right? Now, it's tough because if the movie was great and kicked ass, you'd be like, oh, James Gunn, good job for changing shit. Mm-hmm. But I think my issue with this is if you're not going to direct the film, let the director direct the film.
There's that.
You know, like, why are you trying to get your fucking hands all on it? And this is the same issue that I had with Peacemaker and some of his other projects. You're focused too much on the fucking music and all that shit. Give us a good goddamn product. Not all your fucking favorite songs from when you were a kid. So there was some clashes there. But does that surprise you?
No. I mean, that seems to be the theme. Him, Trump. I mean, they all do the same shit. Micromanaging, basically.
Yep.
Right. Or yeah, go ahead and do this, but then once it's done, they shit on it or they stop it or
Right.
whatever. How the fuck you gonna let Canada build a bridge from Canada to Detroit? So somebody had to have permission, right? I don't. Canada footed the bill
Yeah.
for this thing.
Okay.
Some obscene billions of dollars it cost,
Mm.
and they can't even open the shit because Trump won't let them.
Damn.
Come on, dog. But anyway, Gunn. Yeah, it's like because he wants to be in everything. He wants his fucking dick print on everything.
Right. His gun print.
Yeah, that. He's got to micromanage people instead of, because that's also crushing to your ego, dude.
Correct.
Man. I'm trying to do something. I'm trying to get my creative shit out.
Right. I got a
and you're
vision.
over here telling me what I can and can't do.
Mhm.
I mean, it's like you don't want to be working on like those kind of conditions.
Yeah. So this is probably the most we've talked about DC in the news, at least on the show in a long time,
It's
right?
most we talk about DC in a long time about anything.
About anything. Sounds like things are not fucking going well over there.
Well, I was going to ask, how many projects does he have on the books? Because how many projects does he have on the books because his contract is coming up, right?
Right.
So that would determine whether or not they might think about, negotiating a contract after the fact.
Right.
But if he keeps doing bullshit like this and nobody wants to deal with him, and those projects keep going down, once that deadline hits, dude, you out.
Yeah. And then what do? Do you, like, if you're in DC shoes, this universe just got started.
Right.
Are you going to scrap the whole thing and restart? or is it one of those where, you know what, let's get this motherfucker out and slide somebody else in that role, and let's just keep kind of what they are doing with X-Men 97 in Bo DeMeo, right? He's gone. We got other people in there. We ain't stopping, though. Just because he wrote the first 2 seasons don't mean we got to quit, stop putting the show out.
This is what I would do. The answer is no, you don't scrap everything. What you do is find someone that kind of like feels like a James Gunn, right? Somebody that kind of has the same vision, not so crazy where it looks all weird. Like you go from a mechanical web shooter to the gun, you squeezing webs out of your fucking palms or something, right? Or you put nipples on Batman, or something weird.
Right.
You don't want to go so extreme from the current direction, so you got to find somebody that can come in with the vision and then just take over the thing.
Yeah.
That way, and then along the way, you can kind of like put in your stuff. The new director or whatever can put in their stuff until it ultimately becomes theirs, but not just cold turkey. And who don't Tim Burton the fucking movies. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, just dump them and move on. I mean, they do it every day.
Right. Yeah, unfortunately, I think that's where it's going, dude. And I wouldn't say I'm a James Gunn fan. Like I said, I like a handful of his movies, but if you ain't directing it, dude, back the fuck up. Right. Also, that this spot that he is in for DCU, he's supposed to be their Kevin Feige.
Sure.
I don't know that that's a job that a lot of people can do.
Right. I mean, think about it. They went from Snyderverse to fucking Gunn, right? I mean, so they obviously could do it.
Sure.
Yeah, nobody misses, Snyder.
They're out there. Oh my God, Zack Snyder. Snyder cuts great. They're out there, dude. Every fucking week I see them. But I agree with you. I think if they do cut James Gunn loose, I don't think they should scrap this whole, like, we don't need another restart, dude. Keep the Superman story going. Let's finally get a fucking Batman in there. Now, part of it, I guess they're also in a tough spot because you got the Matt Reeves Batman story going. Second part of that comes out next year. You don't really want to have 2 different Batman on screen at the same time.
Sure.
I think that's confusing for audience, for the casual audience.
I mean, people are more accustomed to seeing like a one Batman on screen and one on like a TV show,
animation or something. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, to have 2 on, then it's like, who is this guy? Who are these guys?
And you would want, if like Batman, you would expect Batman would be your next movie, right? You had Superman. Well, who the fuck you go to next? You go to the GOAT, Adrian, Batman. No, we can go to fucking Supergirl and Clayface. Anyways. So Yeah, I mean, maybe it's so long, Adrian. Someone else who used to be down with DC but got kind of kicked out was Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
Mm.
Played Black Adam, right?
Right.
He came in, he's going to change the whole hierarchy of the DC universe, and they were like, "Fuck you, bro, you're out." Now, I'm a fan of The Rock in
Yep.
general, right? And I'm not a fan of Star Trek. You're a fan of Star Trek,
Yep.
right? You know these fellas here? There's a guy named Will Wheaton. You know him?
Yeah.
Okay. And then this other dude, George Takei.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't sound too excited about these two guys.
Well, Whedon's he's done some things that has gotten him put on like the Hollywood shit list. And George Takei, he's like old as in ancient, not like
Okay.
old as in goat. He's like he's one of the cast of the original Star Trek.
Okay.
Sumu.
Yep. That's what it says. Yeah,
Sulu. And he's gay, and so he's gay activist and all that kind of stuff, plus whatever he does behind the scenes.
Got it.
So that's how I know those.
Okay.
Things.
So how I know Will Wheaton? From The Big Bang Theory. You ever watch the show?
No.
I love it. It's one of my fucking favorite shows ever. But fun fact there. He's on a few episodes. He's got a kind of a rival with Sheldon, the main character. But anyways, why am I talking about these two fucking nerds and Dwayne The Rock Johnson? Because these two are talking about Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So Wheaton actually called The Rock a coward, Adrian.
Okay.
Yeah. So what he was getting at, so there was an Esquire interview last month, and The Rock was asked directly whether he'd ever use his platform to speak out politically, like how people like Bruce Springsteen has. Whatever.
Wait a minute. So this twat?
Yep. That.
Oh, okay.
That fella right there.
Yeah, he's been on a couple of episodes. I never liked him.
Okay.
Even when he was playing on the show, and the other cast on Star Trek didn't like him either.
Wow.
So,
well, I think you're gonna like him less.
Impossible.
This. We'll see. I'll see if I can help you with that. So, The Rock said that I don't know where that goes, but I do know that's an important step. So, like, I'm not sure. Now, The Rock is a former he's still a WWE guy, actor, right? Do you think that people in his shoes, because they have so much influence, have an obligation to speak out on politics?
Not at all.
I don't think so either.
Your only obligation is to, make yourself better today than you was yesterday.
Right.
Outside of that, matter of fact, probably, we need to cut back on some of this political speech.
I think we should, because you got people that have a lot of influence, but maybe don't know shit about, and you're also not living the same life as me. Like, dude, I have an issue on both. It's not a one side versus another. Like, I wasn't excited when Taylor Swift was out, screaming about vote for Kamala, because you don't live the same life that the people that are voting live.
Right.
It don't matter to you who the fuck is president. You're still a fucking billionaire getting married at MSG and all this bullshit.
Did she get a new boyfriend or some shit?
Oh, she got married this weekend, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Travis Kelce. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
at
shit.
MSG. At Madison Square, like, get married at a basketball court. Cool.
Oh, she did marry the football player. I thought she had someone other than him.
No,
okay.
That's next year, I mean, her track record, just saying. I'm just saying.
Okay.
So Johnson's response, The Rock just didn't sit well with these two fucking assholes. So Takei, whatever his name is.
Wait a minute. So what did he do again?
He kind of dodged the question. In an interview, he asked if he would ever use his platform to speak out politically.
Okay.
And he said, I don't know where that goes, but I do know that's an important step. So he didn't say yes or no.
Sure.
He dodged the question.
Yeah.
He answered politically, right?
Yeah.
So this dude fucking Takei, he went on social media, posted on Threads that silence is complicity, aiming this at The Rock. And then Will Wheaton later responded in the replies saying he was disappointed to see Johnson act like such a coward. And I go, dude, why the fuck should The Rock or anybody feel like they have to speak out on politics? He's not a politician.
Well, that he might not know all the facts about whatever, right?
There's that.
He might not even be interested in it.
Right.
Right. So why should he use his platform to just vomit nonsense? Right.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear that bullshit.
No.
Well, obviously they do. You got Trump, but again, you might hear Trump a couple times today.
Well,
just saying.
Frankly, Adrian, I love the podcast. I don't know why you keep talking about me. So I would say fuck you, Will Wheaton, and this other guy, Takei, because I don't think it's anyone's obligation to speak out. And it's definitely not The Rock's obligation.
I thought Takei was dead anyway.
Well, no, he's still yapping online, Adrian. Something that's not dead, though. We're going to move out of the news, Adrian, and get into. So, actually, I got one piece of news that ties right into what we're going to talk about next. So, X-Men 97. I think that Marvel's listening to us again. I do. You remember, I don't know, a few weeks ago. Everything's a few weeks ago here. A few weeks ago, we were talking about X-Men 97. And I said, why can't we get new seasons every fucking year like the soap opera, right?
Right.
So, Marvel wants to do 10 seasons of X-Men 97.
Nice.
Exactly, dude. And what they said was, well, there's 60 years of comics to pull from. Why can't we? Who the fuck? We've been saying that shit for fucking 3 years now.
Yep.
Would you be down with 10 fucking seasons of X-Men 97?
That'd be great. You know what'd be better?
What?
Every day. Every day, bitches.
Every day.
Monday through Friday.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's my
14 years. Fuck a season.
365 episodes a year. Get to work. But I think my biggest issue with X-Men 97 is I got to wait a fucking week to watch the next episode because they're short episodes.
Hey, that's why you go to the daily thing.
There you go. Yep. So, hey, if I know you're listening still. We want daily fucking episodes. Until then, though, we got weekly. We were, blessed with 3 to kick this season off. So we're going to hop right into it, Adrian. X-Men 97. Believe it or not, it's going to be somewhat of an X-Men themed episode this week. I got a great who the fuck is later, dude. And it's funny how things line up. Got this great one. And this individual is someone who had a motherfucking moment in these first 3 episodes. So we'll talk about that. But let's hop right into it. Episode 1, Days of Past Future. A little play on the future past, right? First of all, what'd you think of the 3 episodes as a whole?
I found myself thinking it was kind of boring.
Okay.
Actually. The art, they changed the art a little bit, I think. I kind of like it a little better.
Okay.
Jubilee is they haven't shown her shit yet.
Right.
She's still it's almost like she's still a kid in the show, even though she's going up against all of these people.
Right.
I don't know. It just seems kind of off to me.
I would say the first episode to me was probably the one that I liked the least.
Yeah, it kind of set the cadence.
It did, and I guess you have to. We're nitpicking, but the whole Nate turning into Cable, seeing that kind of growth was cool because you never get to see Nate.
Right.
It's always baby infected, goes to the future, and this old ass motherfucker comes back with a robot arm. So we get to see that progression. I like that we're seeing more of Forge in these episodes. Forge and Bishop as well. Right. He's getting some shine. So we got some time travel going on. I thought it was cool how one group went to the past, one group went to the future. And I think what I like the most about these 3 episodes is it's all based around Apocalypse. As it should be. And talk about getting a bad taste out of your mouth. Remember that fucking X-Men movie with Oscar Isaac's Apocalypse?
Yeah.
How much better is just the probably 2 scenes we've seen him in just these episodes. So I like that it's based around that. It's funny that we did these deep dives on Apocalypse, Cable, and all that. And I feel like they stole our story for this, Adrian.
Yeah,
I mean, Ozymandias is in there, fucking Ball's in there. And Mother Ascani, who we also talked about. I was wondering if we're going to see like what's his name? Strife pop up somewhere. Like, you think she's got the clone somewhere? You think we'll see that here?
I'm not sure, dude.
You never know with these. I mean, they change so much, but we get to see Nathan actually learn that Scott and Jean were his parents. So that was kind of, I guess, a big takeaway from this. And I really like the scene where he uses telekinesis to master the virus. Because we've talked about that before, right? Like he used it to cut it off, but we never really see it. And then his arm turns into the, robot arm. And then at the very end of this episode, he merges with Apocalypse's own ship technology, which is that little Q we've seen him use before. So, and I thought it was cool to see him start this transformation into Cable. I mean, that was kind of the big takeaway from this first episode. And then also Apocalypse fucking bounces and goes back to the 1990s, as they say. Right. That's a little cheesy too. Can we stop saying we got to get the X-Men back to the 1990s? Is this season's To Me, My X-Men? Just say the 90s, bro. The 19. Now, who the fuck talks like that? Nobody. I did like that we saw Bone Claw Wolverine.
Yeah.
because last time we saw him, my man was hemmed up on the table with his, adamantium ripped out of his body.
Right.
And he looks a little more feral too.
Yeah, and not on that. I mean, I think he snapped a couple of them puckers when he was fighting, when he was digging into them sentinels.
Oh yeah. Oh, his claws?
Yeah.
Yeah. And even the sound of them coming out is a little more gruesome,
Yeah.
So I like the attention to detail we've seen so far. Dude, even in the intro, like every episode had a slightly different intro with different characters. And we're going to get into the second episode here. I think the second episode is probably the one that stands out the most to me of these three. I think I enjoyed that one the most. It was basically X-Force versus X-Factor.
Right.
I even like that the opening was X-Force instead of X-Men. I know you probably skipped the intro, huh?
Yeah.
So in that episode, because the intro came a little bit after we realized that Cable and what's her name, Psylocke, and it was putting together this team. So instead of the traditional X-Men intro, it was all X-Force based. So it's pretty cool. But Cable arrives in the present, and he kind of decides that, dude, this old X-Men playbook of taking everything, doing everything above board ain't gonna fucking work. He puts together this X-Force that is kind of a Black Ops type of team.
Right.
And recruits Jubilee, Sunspot. I like that we see Psylocke and Archangel getting some shine in here. Psylocke's a character that we'll have her on Who the Fuck Is real soon, because she is an underrated character.
Yeah. So
we see him put together this team, and we see a little bit of clashing between Cable and Jubilee. I really like what they've done with Jubilee so far. Usually she's just the fucking mall rat making fireworks.
Right.
We're gonna talk. Matter of fact, surprise, that is the Who the Fuck Is this week, and her powers will literally will blow you away. It ain't fucking sparklers, dude. But he puts his team together, and she kind of pushes back when they go hunt down Apocalypse's horsemen.
Right.
And dude, Cable just sets the gun, hands it to Archangel, like, yo, kill that bitch.
Right.
Jubilee's like, what the fuck's going on? What did I sign up for here? I thought that was cool to see the big difference between the X-Force, Cable's mentality, and the X-Men.
Right.
Were you surprised to see Angel fucking whack? Well, we didn't see it, but
yeah, actually. I thought it was gonna be some dropping out on the execution there, but no, he went through with that shit.
Oh yeah.
He even said, he's like, hey, we don't have too many choices here, basically.
Oh, he didn't even hesitate, dude. He's like, give me that shit. I'm like, fuck. He's like, well, hey, the one who saved me was Rogan. She ain't here, bro. So we got no choice. Seeing Havoc was cool. He's now leading this X Factor, the government-based team. And what's her name? We saw Emma Frost in here, and she fucking set them up, dude.
Right.
A lot of noise online about Emma Frost. People are upset with her portrayal so far.
Really?
How'd you feel about what we've seen of Emma Frost? I mean, it's only been this one episode, but
I mean, I've always known her as the Hellfire Club queen, so she was always against the X-Men to me, so it didn't make any difference to me.
Okay. Now, later in the comics, she, switches sides. She ends up leading the Generation X, and she, marries Cyclops and all that. So I think people were like expecting to see that version, but we've barely seen her at all, and even going back to the animated series show. So I'm cool with her being like, let's see her be the villain for a little bit. Sure. Matter of fact, we got 10 seasons, bro. Fucking just wait a little bit. Everybody don't need to have their story done in the first or second season. But she sets these motherfuckers up. And that's what they were saying, too, is like, that's not in her DNA to be selling out mutants and shit like that. But I think this is a different time period of Emma Frost, So how'd you feel about, you mentioned the animation being a little different. How'd you feel about the fight between X-Force, X-Factor?
I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Pretty intense. I mean, I love the fact that they got, Scott still using his eye blast to like move him around space and shit. And what I also like about this is how they portray, especially when they get into the Jubilee prison fight.
Yes.
It shows, not only her power, but also her training.
Correct.
Because she kicks some ass.
Yeah, dude.
Without her power.
Right.
Right. So I like seeing all, and like you said, attention to detail. It was almost so much detail. It's like it was kind of hard to pick things out of things while they was fighting. But of course, it's close quarters. You got a lot of shit going on, a lot of people in a tight space. So I think they're doing good, dude.
Absolutely. And the amount of characters that they're juggling, and I think everybody's getting, good enough, a good showing.
Wait a minute. So where the fuck did Thor come from?
Oh, that was Morph.
Oh, I'm like, wait a minute, what's happening here?
Dude, it gets me every time. I'm like, what the fuck's Lady Deathstrike doing here? The fuck is this? But yeah, it's Morph's little ass.
Okay.
Dude. Yep. So I gotta dig into Morph because I'm assuming when he turns into somebody, he has their power.
No,
he does not.
I don't think so. No.
Okay. But then why the fuck's he turn into people?
Intimidation, maybe.
But he is stronger when he's Hulk.
I don't know.
Maybe So we'll find out for you guys. But yeah, that would be the only, like, why else would you turn into fucking Thor and swing Mjolnir if you're not gonna have a Thor strength swing,
Right.
So who knows? Maybe he gets their strength and not their actual power, or who the fuck knows? But it gets me every time. Gets me every motherfucking time. But dude, the Jubilee scene. Now, talking about juggling characters, Polaris, she's in this, who's one of Magneto's children as well, right? Depending on what you read. So
Polaris bad as hell.
Yes,
too.
dude. And she's kind of walking that line, like, that's the thing with the X Factor here. It's like they're working for the government, or government-sponsored team, but that doesn't mean everybody that's down with them is really down with them. This is all kind of new, right? This is a fucking brand new team. So she lets Jubilee go, and Jubilee kicks some motherfucking ass.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Then the last episode, I say the second one was a standout. I really enjoyed this episode too, though. The whole Egypt stuff, and Sabah Nur, we're getting that shit we just talked about here a few weeks back. That early, Apocalypse before he becomes Apocalypse. And you see Magnus, Adrian, he's always up to something. Like, Charles, you should know by now, bro.
Right.
You should fucking know. Keep him under the fucking blanket.
There you go.
You let him off on his own, and he's literally trying to stir and Sabah Nur, and it backfires. Ball was not having it the whole time. He's like, fuck these people.
No, in Sabah Nur, he was like, it's you can almost see his consciousness, not his consciousness, that he had a conscience, that he cared about the people and things like that. And then, so you can imagine what his evolution is going to be into Apocalypse.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was cool to see that they stormed the stormed the Capitol. And who's behind all this shit? Someone we told you about a few weeks ago, motherfucking Ramatut, Kang the Conqueror, and even said, we'll see what happens. The Conqueror of the slave, because Sabah Nur was a slave of Kang's, or Ramatut at this point. So, dude, I'm really excited about where this is going. Sure. I thought these were 3 great episodes. I agree. The first one was probably a little slow, but second one to stand out. And I mean, quite the cliffhanger with the X-Men getting ready to bounce back to the present time, and fucking Ramatut blasts the shit out of the mountain that they're in, fucking everybody up. So, I mean, are the X-Men gonna be, teaming up with Sabah Nur to take on Ramatut? Is there gonna be a fucking 3-way here? What are we doing? It leads a lot more questions than answers. But dude, I'm hooked. Again, my only issue is I gotta fucking wait a couple days before this goddamn shit comes out. So,
I think they say like the 1990s or some shit like that because of the times that they're jumping across.
Yeah.
Because it could be 2097, 3097, that kind of bullshit.
I guess. Sounds fucking ridiculous, though. We got to get the X-Men back to the 1990. Bro, Bishop, we got it, bro. Just fucking you say 97.
But which 97?
Huh?
But which 97?
We'll figure it out, yeah. And I thought it was cool, too, how they bounced, one group was 3,000 years or 5,000 years in the past, and then the other group was like 4,000 years in the future. Or actually, no, 2,000 years. My math's all fucked up. So anyways, next episode is Rise of Apocalypse Part 2. So this Rise of Apocalypse is going to be a 3-part series, and then, they're going to move on from there. So we got to fucking get it week by week. 2 more weeks to find out, or watch Ramatut get his ass whooped, and then Sabah Nur become Apocalypse. I would assume this 3-part story here is going to end with Sabah Nur killing Ramatut and then becoming Apocalypse. I mean, dude, he fucking cut the dude's head off when remember at first Magneto stopped him. He was going to cut the prisoner's head off. He's like, "Nah, chill, dude." And then when he found out that they were stealing all the weaponry to try to bounce, well, you know what they're doing? They were just building the weapon, and he cut that motherfucker's head off.
So the action sequences, the murder, the beheading, all that shit, comics are not designed for children. These comics should be, and they have been, and should be portrayed as rated R movies.
Absolutely.
You know, so and this is just, and now this is at the animated level,
Right?
You know, there are kid shows, comic books, this kind of shit.
Right.
Avengers, X-Men should be, you know, DC, not for kids.
Right. And I wouldn't even say, I mean, they didn't go full rated R. This is probably like, you know, it's been more PG-13. We didn't see the blood, but it's implied. But this is that line that it should walk.
Right.
It again, it ain't for 7-year-olds.
Right.
That's what I was watching. I forget what episode it was. My wife was like, "Who's this show made for? This is not a kid's show." I'm like, "No, it's definitely not a kid's show."
Yeah.
This, you know, the show's made for, Adrian. People like fucking me and you.
Yep.
That grew up on the X-Men. We know the X-Men's the best fucking team in comics. They whip the Avengers ass, the Justice League ass. They whip everybody's ass. And we're finally getting them done justice.
Sure.
Finally seeing them in the proper light.
There we go.
10 times better than any fucking Fox X-Men movie. So holy shit. But Adrian, you know I'm prepared with some knowledge every week, right? So
Okay.
I'm going to break down the X Factor versus the X-Force for several reasons. One, they seem to be a big presence in this show. Two, I didn't know who the fuck either one of them were outside of a spinoff of X-Men groups growing up. So I wanted to break down these. These are two. The X Factor and the X-Force are two very, very different teams. I think that's probably one of the biggest misconceptions is people think, oh, it's just another variation of the X-Men. That's not true for either one of these teams. They're both drastically different. So, but the X Factor originally was really, I guess, tied to the X-Men. So in 1986, not the 1990s, as they say, 1986, Adrian, year after I was born, Jean Grey, she returned from the dead. We talked about this ad nauseum here. Cyclops then leaves Madeline Pryor. Fuck you, bitch. Keep that stupid ass son that, you know, and I'm going back to the OG. At that point, though, the original founding members of X-Men, Cyclops, Jean, Beast, Angel, and Iceman, they wanted to operate independently of Magneto. Because this is when Xavier's fucking blanketed ass was out in space. Lilandra. Oh my God. You just start a school. People were like, every week they ask me, what's your issue with Xavier? Oh, I got a fucking lot of issues with Xavier. Here's one of them. You start a school for mutants because you feel so bad. You're this, you know, self-righteous. I'm going to make a stand. And then you fucking leave and go chase some dumbass bitch in space and leave Magneto in charge of your fucking X-Men. I'm a Magneto guy, but we don't need him in charge of the X-Men, dude. Right. He's in charge of the Brotherhood. Get the fuck out of here. So these people, Cyclops, Jean, Beast, Angel, Iceman, are like, we ain't operating under Magneto. So they started their own group called the X Factor. That's where it originated from. Their first mission, they operated under, they posed as mutant hunters for hire. They took calls from terrified humans. They would show up and capture the mutants, but it was actually a front to secretly rescue them. So pretty fucking good team, right? Sure. Now, there was another era of X Factor, and this was in 1991 when this team was formed. This is the one that is pretty much like the one we're seeing here in X-Men 97. The U.S. government licensed a mutant team, the U.S. government had a licensed mutant team called the Freedom Force. They collapsed. And the president at the time, the presidential advisor at the time, Val Cooper, desperately needed a new publicly acceptable squad. It's kind of like the Thunderbolts, New Avengers type shit, right? So because the original X Factor, they just rejoined the X-Men again, Val decided, why don't we just steal that fucking name, make it a federal team, and put some other motherfuckers in there. Kind of like some Thunderbolt shit. Like in the comics, in Dark Reign, Norman Osborn is running the Avengers. Right. And he just slides people. We'll just call him the Avengers. He's got fucking Bullseye as Hawkeye. He's got Wolverine's son as like it ain't no good Avengers. There's some fucked up motherfuckers in there. But that's kind of what they did here, minus the villains cosplaying heroes. So they made this government team, and in doing that, Xavier and Cyclops convinced Havoc to lead the new team. They're probably figuring, if the government's going to, maybe we should get one of our own in there, right? Havoc agreed once he learned his ex-girlfriend Polaris was on the roster because he's like, oh, she left me. I want to go follow her. So he joined, and then they rounded out the team with Multiple Man, Strong Guy, Wolfsbane, and Quicksilver. So very close to the version we're seeing here in 97. So we had the original 5 was the original X-Men, then this new team in 91. So that's X Factor. They are a government-ran team. Now, X-Force, completely different squad. They are this lethal black ops squad. X Factor is the police. X-Force is the black ops death squad. They are proactive. They're heavily armed. They're lethal militant wing of the mutant race, if you will. Their origin was in 1991 as well. There was a junior team named the New Mutants. They were traumatized. They're tired of playing defense, and they were sick of Charles Xavier's pacifist dream. So it ain't just me. They're sick of his ass, too. They were tired of him with his fucking dream and the goddamn blanket. They're like, bro, you ever gonna wash the blanket? It fucking smells. So this time-traveling cyborg mercenary named Cable, we know Cable, he stepped in, he scrapped that whole school mentality, and he militarized those teenagers into this strike team. The OG members of this team, Cable, Domino, who we've seen in the Deadpool movie, Cannonball, Boom Boom, Warpath, Shatterstar, and Feral. So much different team than we're seeing on screen. So what do they stand for? Dude, they don't wait for supervillains to attack, and if they find out someone's building Sentinels or planning something, they just kick the door down and blow these motherfuckers up. They're not waiting for this shit to happen, dude. They're again, they are proactive. Proactive neutralization is what they do. So some of the most famous lineups here, we talked about, Cable's original squad. In 2010, the Uncanny X-Force, Wolverine formed a secret murder squad behind Cyclops' back to permanently assassinate threats to the mutant race. Because, believe it or not, guys, Wolverine kills.
There's that.
The lineup featured Wolverine, Archangel, Psylocke, Deadpool, and Phantomix. Hell of a fucking, I don't know who fucking Phantomix is, but the rest of these guys, hell of a fucking lineup there. That's pretty close to the one we're seeing right now, minus Wolverine.
Phantomix sounds like a powder for drinks.
It's a pre-workout.
Yeah.
Then we had the Krakoan at CIA. So the Krakoan, dude, I got to dig in this Krakoan era because shit sounds fucked up in that era.
Yeah, and it's all over the place, too.
Yes. So speaking of all over the place, the X-Force becomes a mutant island nation intelligence agency. I'm sorry. The X-Force becomes an intelligence agency on Krakoa, and it's led by the motherfucking Beast, Adrian. We talked about how this is where he gets batshit crazy. So he's no longer in the X-Men. He's leading the X-Force now. His team featured Wolverine, Kid Omega, Domino, Sage, and Colossus. So much different teams, but there's some crazy shit. We talked about Cyclops, right? And how Cyclops, like a lot of these characters, what's that saying from The Dark Knight? You either die a hero, live long enough to see yourself become a villain. I think Beast is proof of that.
Right.
And even Cyclops towards the end, he gets crazy militant to so speaking of that, the dynamic between the X-Men and the X-Force changed when Cyclops realized that Xavier, again, his clean pacifist tactics were going to get everybody killed. So after so the mutant population was decimated because of Wanda. The first new mutant baby, Hope Summers, was born. Every anti-mutant hate group out there tried to kill her, bro. Like we thought there's no more mutants, and now there's one born. So they're trying to kill the baby. Cyclops bypassed the main X-Men, and he ordered Wolverine to assemble this specialized strike force, lethal mutants, X-23, Warpath, Wolfsbane. And he ordered them to hunt down the people going after the baby. Damn. He called them the X-Force. So then what do they do with the baby, Adrian? They send the baby in the future for protection, right? Get this fucking kid out of here.
There you
go. But he gave Wolverine orders to hunt down and kill any anti-mutant threats, use lethal force to permanently eliminate them before they could strike. And then Cyclops then kept this, I guess, murder squad, this secret X-Force, as a backup. He would, if the X-Men would reject his violent methods, so this is in the era where Xavier is gone, Cyclops is running this shit. If he's telling them to do something they don't want to do, he would just call this death squad and have them come in and do it. Because Cyclops felt like he's seen enough of his closest friends fall because of Xavier's dream.
Right.
So he's like, fuck you, Baldy, and your stupid fucking blanket. This is what we're doing from here on out. So now you one of the another story where you see a lot of these two groups is Executioner's Song. This is where we talked about Strife. Cable's clone shoots Professor X in the head, and the X-Men and the X-Factor team up to hunt down the X-Force in retaliation because they thought it was Cable. So two very, very different groups. I'm definitely, if I had to join one, Adrian would be the X-Force.
Of course.
I ain't fucking around with the X-Factor. Government ain't telling me what to do, bro. But if we can be the X-Force, go around and hunt everyone who's trying to hunt us, I mean, it kind of falls, like, that would make more sense for Magneto to be leading than the X-Men, right? Like, give him the fucking X-Force. Holy shit.
Well, Chuck, he's he secretly, wants, Magneto and shit.
Yes.
That whole thing, I think it was like the first season, just kind of when
was the last episode.
He's playing around, him and Magnus playing around in each other's head and shit. And then of course Magnus come out in his drawers and shit. But I mean, some of these people, it's almost like Captain America, not so much Scott Down because he just went off deep rails, like deep end, like you said. But they have this whole goodness about them so much to the fact that it cripples the mission.
Yeah.
And people get tired of that shit.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. How do you feel about X-Force and X-Factor being, so far at least, a big presence in this show? Or do you think it should be limited to X-Men?
Nah. I mean, X-Men got to fight somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't fight themselves.
Right.
So they got to have some kind of mission. And I'm just surprised that, the whole Cable route is going on. It's kind of like behind the scenes parallel missions going out hunting people and obviously killing them.
Yeah.
I also thought that the Horseman was stupid. Little drummer boy, and
I hate the fucking drummer boy, dude. Yeah.
What is that?
Like, that's who you picked, Apocalypse? Seriously? You're supposed to be the first mutant. You picked this little fucking drummer boy? The fuck out of here. Now, I think what we're going to see is a face-off between Cable and Cyclops at some point. Because this is not the Scott we're talking about in Krakoa. This is Boy Scout Scott.
Right.
I don't think he's going to be down with Cable killing.
Right.
And Cable ain't going to be down with Scott telling him what to do. Even though you're my dad, bro, I'm older than you. Fuck you.
Well, Cable didn't kill.
No, well,
Angel did.
True, but he sanctioned it.
Right.
I mean, he's the one. So I think we're going to see some conflict there.
Well, you should see some conflict. Cable were giving the orders, and then fucking Angel, carrying them out.
Right.
So he's going to have conflict and conflict.
Sure.
And what if Jubilee? I mean, she's not on board right now, but what if she starts to turn in that direction as well?
Yeah. Because if I remember right, she didn't say no killing. She said less killing or something like that when she agreed to join.
Right. And Sunspot.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to have an opinion at all.
No.
I mean, he's just there to catch Jubilee whenever she jumps out the fucking sky or whatever. But we haven't seen his opinion.
We saw a little bit of it last season. Remember when Magneto, raised the asteroid and he asked if anybody wanted to join him? Rogue and Sunspot jumped.
Right.
So I think he's going to lean more towards what Cable's doing than what Xavier wants to do.
But Magneto, he has a certain thing about him, but I've never seen, I don't think they've ever seen him outright kill anybody. So, yeah, the mission, if you decide between Chuck and Magnus, that's one thing. But then deciding between Magnus and Cable, I think that's a different direction.
Yeah, Cable's a little trigger happy, dude. But I think that's probably why the second episode was my favorite of these three. Was you have these other teams in the mix because there's it's the opposite of DC. There's so many phenomenal Marvel characters.
Right.
I mean, do these characters on the fucking X Factor are better than some of DC's top characters? Yeah, this is like the third X group, Forest Factor, this, that. You think we'll see a Deadpool in X-Men 97 at some point? That'd be hard to do.
Yeah. I don't think so. I don't think I would want to either, to be honest. I mean, out of all of my years of reading X-Men comics, I never saw Deadpool. Now, I'm sure I've done some selective reading.
Yeah.
But I've never seen. So I won't. It might be cool if he shows up. but I'm not gonna miss him if he doesn't.
Got it. Wait, are you saying you haven't read every comic book, Adrian?
No.
So you're not
Not
an
even
expert?
every X-Men comic.
Damn, so you're not an expert?
No.
You're only a fan.
Yes.
that
That is correct.
is true. And you guys are only fans. Well, no, we want Bo to get excited, but
well, we don't. Bo doesn't need us to get it for him to get excited.
no, he don't. He was talking too. He's trying to get back in the news now too about this. Dude. Exactly. Now he did. I misspoke last week when we were talking about it. He did actually write the second season as well. So we are still seeing his, fruits of his labor, Adrian. But I don't think there's going to be any issue with the third season, no matter who fucks writing it, because there's so much good content to pull from. That's always funny too. Like not to discredit the writers, but you are writing, but you're also writing with a lot of ammunition.
Exactly.
You got a lot to pull from.
Exactly.
I'm not saying you're not. You're crazy talented. I'm not taking anything, but you got a lot of you got a foundation there.
Right. You're taking static content and you're making it move.
Right.
You making it interact. So that takes skill.
Absolutely.
But you're not the only one that can do it.
Correct. So. Yeah, I think that's the bigger point. Just like James Gunn ain't the only one that can direct the movie. Right. Kevin Feige might be the only one that can master a whole fucking cinematic universe. But I don't think that he's he ain't the only one that can direct some shit. Right. So we're talking X-Men. Frankly, we're talking X-Men. It's a lot of them. There's so many people at the 4th of July party. There really wasn't. But anyways, we're talking X-Men, and you know what I like to do every week, Adrian? I like to tell everyone out there who the fuck somebody is. And this week, the who the fuck is Jubilee. Someone that I didn't think I'd ever be doing a deep dive on because I think I was confused like a lot of other people. I'm going to tell you who Jubilee's not, dude. She's not just some punk-ass mall rat. She's not everybody's favorite clown with fucking tricks. She's not, the girl who just shoots fireworks out of her fingertips. Jubilee is actually, believe it or not, one of the most powerful fucking mutants. Like you say that about everybody. Maybe mutants are just the most powerful mutants. I don't know.
But I mean, how else can they kick the Justice League's ass?
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Jubilee was solo. Now, maybe that's a little far-fetched. But her power set is something that I would say, even in the animated series, we've not seen it to its full extent.
Sure.
I think they're doing a much better job with this character in X-Men 97. But I'm going to tell you exactly who the fuck Jubilee is. So Jubilee she's not just some rebellious kid looking for trouble. Her whole world, Adrian, was stolen from her when she was 13 years old. Okay. So Jubilation Lee is her actual name. She was born to two wealthy Chinese immigrants. She lived in a massive Beverly Hills mansion. Her father was a corporate exec, successful guy. Jubilee actually was a gifted gymnast, which we see a lot in her fighting, right? She had this sheltered, privileged life, private school kid. So she's living it up. And then her father lost almost all of their money during the stock market crash, okay? Desperate to protect his family like, most fathers would. So he did what most fathers would do. He got hooked up with the mob. Instead of getting another job, he's like, fuck it, I'm going to join. Maybe most fathers wouldn't do that. But he did. He joined this mob syndicate led by this crime boss, Hunter Braun. And believe it or not, her dad was no mobster. He couldn't pay his debts. And Braun sends two hitmen to the house, Reno and Molokai, and they brutally murder both of her parents. The police initially wrote it off as a car accident. Jubilee was an orphan, stripped of her wealth, thrown into this L.A. County foster care system. So I think she lived with her aunt for a little bit for some period of time, but she gets thrown into foster care. And this is the Jubilee that I think a lot of people are used to from the show. Is she's a mall rat, dude. She spends most of her time at the mall because, as Bishop told us 900 times, it's the 1990s. Yes. And there's a lot of malls in the 90s, Adrian. So she ran away. She didn't like the rules of this strict orphanage. She ran away, and she actually lived in this outdoor shopping center in Hollywood. To survive, she learned how to steal. It's like everyone that joins the X-Men has to be a thief first, right? She became a skilled thief.
At least the non-white ones.
Absolutely. She was a feral mall rat. She's hiding out in this complex in the ventilation shafts, the shopping center. And this is where her mutant powers first manifested. She quickly learned how to use them and weaponize them, to survive. Her fireworks power. She would short circuit ATM machines to get cash out of those motherfuckers.
Damn.
She'd blow up arcade machines for free tokens. And then when the mall cops would chase her, she would just blind them. Yeah, so she was, I guess.
She was a mall rat.
She was a mall rat. She was a fucking pain in the ass. Now, how did she join the X-Men? It was really by accident. So she wasn't recruited. Xavier didn't stroll in, and there's no blanket questions here.
Right.
He wasn't even involved. You know where his ass was? He fucking ditched the blanket and went after Lilandra in space. So the female members of the X-Men, Storm, Rogue, Psylocke, and Dazzler at the time, they were having a girls' day out, dude. They went to this Hollywood mall. They needed a break, they're working hard, right? So there was this squad of mutant hunters, the M Squad. They attacked the X-Men while they were at the mall. Jubilee secretly uses her powers to help the X-Men fight these guys off. And the X-Men opened up a teleportation portal to return to their secret base in Australia. And Jubilee fucking followed them right through the portal. They left it up a little bit too long, and she's like, oh shit, what are they doing in there? She followed them. That's how she fucking joined the X-Men. Now, I'll talk to you about kind of what she did in the meantime. But one of the things, before we get into her powers and stuff, one of the things I love about Jubilee is her early dynamic with Xavier. She did not look at him like everybody else. She thought he was an asshole.
Imagine that.
What do you know, right? She did not view him as her savior. As a matter of fact, when she first joined the team, Xavier wasn't even on Earth. He's fucking in space with the Starjammers. So she spent her early months in the X-Men surviving alongside Wolverine, which is a great relationship with him we'll talk about. And then when Xavier finally returned to Earth to take control of the X-Men, he treated Jubilee like this reckless child that needed to be in the classroom, So she survived these cyborg mercenaries, this criminal underworld. She would do shit like rollerblade through the mansion. And, Xavier can be rollerblading through the mansion, chewing bubblegum during his class. She was the pain in the ass student in a lot of ways. But thing about Jubilee, her power set, dude, it ain't sparklers, it ain't fireworks. Her exact powers are classified as lumikinetic explosive light generation. Okay, what the fuck does that mean? She's not shooting sparks out of her hand. She moves molecules in the surrounding atmosphere spontaneously, and she generates these heated plasma spheres that she calls plasmoids. Almost like a fucking collider, dude.
Yeah.
She's moving shit around so fast that she creates these plasmoids. And she can do that with just whatever's around her. She also has absolute pinpoint telekinetic control over these plasmoids. So she's not just throwing them out in the air and they're going wherever they're going. She can make them curve around corners. She can make them orbit somebody's head to blind them. She can have the shit hover still in midair if she wants to. Complete control. She controls the exact physical state of every blast. She can create a low-level flashbang type of explosion. She can do a concussive shotgun blast level. She could do a super heated blast capable of melting through solid steel bank vaults or incinerating fucking heavy weapons. Her most lethal application, though, is directing her plasmoids to merge with solid matter and detonate it from inside on a subatomic level, completely vaporizing the object. Yes. So you can't do that with a motherfucking sparkler, can you? She is also completely immune to the heat and force of her own blast. She can also mentally command a fire plasmoid, or she can mentally command a plasmoid that she already fired to instantly dissolve and reabsorb the energy back into her own body without any harm. So, dude, she ain't just running around fucking doing all this shit.
So that's kind of like a oops moment. Like
Yeah.
you jump out the closet, ha!
Yeah.
And she like throws
Bring
some
it right
shit
back.
at you, right?
Yep.
But like, oh, mom. And she can
She
like
pull it right back.
Bring it back before mom dies.
Yep.
Nice.
So speaking of Emma Frost looked deep into Jubilee's mind and realized that if Jubilee stopped holding back out of fear of accidentally killing somebody, she has the power to detonate matter on a nuclear level. That's why I say she's one of the most powerful fucking mutants.
Hey, man. Emma Frost needs to stay out of people's. And she jumped around in Scott shit, fucked him up. Not Scott. Iceman.
Yep.
Bobby.
Yep.
And now she's fucking around in Jubilee's head. She need to just stop.
She's chill the fuck out, dude. Now, her relationship with Wolverine. This is a probably her closest relationship, I think. So when she followed the X-Men through that portal, right? The X-Men abandoned that base. They didn't know she was following them. They left Wolverine behind. He was ambushed by the Reavers, these cyborg mercenaries. They tortured him. They literally crucified him on the X-shaped cross. Everyone knows this comic cover, right? Where Wolverine's hanging on the cross. We actually saw it in Deadpool and Wolverine. So what we didn't see there was Jubilee's the one who came out of hiding and pretty much saved him. She uses her powers to blow up the cyborgs. And Wolverine gets down off the cross. She drags his half-dead body to safety. And she was the one who kept him alive the whole time. So first of all, she had no idea who these people were. She knew they were mutants. She followed them into the portal. They bounce. Wolverine's hemmed up on this fucking cross. He gets off, and she almost felt obligated, like, I can't let the guy, I gotta do so. So that's where they initially bonded. So here she is, a kid, fucking 2 hours ago, she's blowing up ATM machines and playing arcade machines, and now she's fighting the Reavers with her powers, barely even knowing what the fuck she was doing. And then their relationship got even... They were close in the comics. This is what pisses me off about the X-Men movies is the story with Rogue and Wolverine is Jubilee's story. She's the orphan that comes in that looks to Wolverine as a father figure, and he looks to her as a daughter. And instead, we got that Anna Paquin's Rogue, who really was just Jubilee in disguise. So, the scene in first season of X-Men 97 when Magneto rips the adamantium off of Wolverine's skeleton. So in the comics, that happens in Fatal Attractions. And at that, dude, I remember being a kid, bro, reading that comic and like talking about it in school the next day. Read a comic. Like, what? Wolverine doesn't have his claws no more? Because up until that point, we had no idea that Wolverine's claws were part of his skeleton. We thought the claws were just given to him when he had this whole operation shit.
Right. That's literally what I thought.
Yep.
From the early beginning.
So did Wolverine. So did fucking Jubilee. So after that event, Logan's healing, and Jubilee's. You see, they're sitting somewhere, and he's all kind of taped up. It's a very different version of Logan, and Jubilee's holding his hands, and he pops his claws out for the first time after this happened, and they both realized that his claws were made of fucking bone. So he was like, wow, I guess I had these the whole time. So why did I bring that? I mean, think about their connection. I guess joining the X-Men was her saving Wolverine. Wolverine goes through one of the most traumatic, it's crazy to say that with all shit he's gone through.
Right.
One of his most traumatic moments in comics. And then when he finds this out about himself with the bone claws, Jubilee's the one right there by his side. So it kind of brings that whole, I guess builds their bond a lot closer, right? Generation X. This is another team. So you got the X Factor, this Factor, Force Bar, Generation X. This is a team that runs out of the Massachusetts Academy. So up near us, Emma Frost was, I guess, the headmaster there, but Jubilee's transferred to that academy to be the anchor for them because at that point, she's the most battle-tested member of this young Generation X team. So we see her in the comics go from being the orphan, the new kid on the block, to being this kind of veteran member of the Generation X. Now, during the House of M, during Wanda's whole no more mutants, oh my God, Jubilee actually lost her mutant powers. Instead of quitting, though, she acquired this tech suit that granted her super strength and invulnerability. She joined the New Warriors under this code name Wondra, and basically proven that her being a hero had was not dependent on her mutant abilities. Because she could have easily just been like, hey, I ain't got no powers, so I'm fucking going home. I'm done.
Right.
So,
which I'm sure a lot of them did.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I'm gonna sit here and eat these fucking potatoes and bonbons.
Not her. Then she had a vampire era, Adrian. She got caught in a bioterrorist attack in San Fran. Jubilee was bitten by Zaris, the son of Dracula. She died and became a full-blown blood-drinking vampire with super strength, immortality. She lived as an undead X-Men for years before finally being cured by a shard of the Phoenix Force. She had quite the fucking run in the comics, too. So that, my friends, is who the fuck Jubilee is. She ain't some, 4th of July fucking party hose, firecracker, sparkler bullshit. She is, dude, she's a fucking savage.
Right.
I mean, crazy gymnast ability, which we see in her fighting, but her power set, the absolute control she has over every little fucking sparkle. And then what part that I think really was impressive is not just the control, but the different levels of it. It's not just a one size fits all. I can flashbang to just distract you, or I can melt your entire fucking body.
The one that I didn't know about that was impressive was the one where she could mend her powers, those fucking sparkles, inside of something else and make that explode.
Right.
That's almost like
Gambit almost.
Gambit,
yeah,
right.
Absolutely. Which we've not seen a lot of that. I don't think we've seen really any of that in this show yet.
So literally, she could charge an entire building.
Absolutely.
Right? And just blow that fucker
disintegrate that shit. So,
which of course then will destroy everything around that too.
Right.
Right. So she basically turns other objects into bombs.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
Yep.
Nice.
Turns them into nothing. They're fucking gone. Well, that is who Jubilee is. We're gonna shift gears here. We're on our road to Doomsday, Adrian. The movie this past week was Shang-Chi. I watched this movie. It's probably the maybe second or third time I've seen this movie. I really enjoy this movie.
Yeah, once is usually enough for me.
Okay.
But I don't know what it is. It's like maybe I'm becoming that fucking critic that we used to say that people in Rotten Tomatoes are.
Yep.
Except I'm not getting paid.
Right.
But it's like I see these movies and it's just some movies I just will not watch. Like, for example, this is not a comic movie, and I'm sure you haven't seen this either, but Cowboys and Aliens.
Nope.
Okay. I'll watch that movie fucking just back to back to back. It's a good movie.
Okay.
I mean, there's nothing spectacular about it. But it's just a good movie. AVP, Alien versus Predator, with Sanaa Lathan in it.
Yep.
Gorgeous. Anyway, I watched that movie.
Yeah.
Shit like that. Comic book movies, I can't really think of a comic book movie. I'm like, let me go back and watch that again. I mean, I watch them once. They're either good or they're not. And I have a memory of them.
Right.
But I don't just put them on and just, like these other movies.
Shang-Chi is one that I've seen it twice because I saw it in the theaters when it came out and I fucking forgot all about it. And I watched it again probably, I don't know, like a year ago. And then obviously now we're doing this watch too. But I say all that to say I do rewatch the shit out of these movies. But Shang-Chi is one that it ain't on my list to go rewatch often. Hence why I've only seen it 3 times. For me, that's not a lot at all. But I do enjoy this movie. And I think you didn't even see it when it originally came out. You saw it like, a few months ago, a year ago or some shit.
Now, I did go see The Matrix 3 times in the theater. The first one.
The first one. I've seen that one time. So Shang-Chi, it's a martial arts movie. Some great fighting in this movie. I think that's what stood out to me on this third watch was the fight scenes. I shouldn't even say 3 watches. The second time I watched it, I fucking slept through most of it. So I've seen it from beginning to end twice.
Got it.
And I really enjoyed the fight scenes. I think they were just as good as they were the first time around. I think the special effects with the rings and shit look really cool. And we're going to talk about a couple things. We're talking about his power, per se. He doesn't really have power, but he kind of does. And what these 10 rings do. But before we do that, let's talk about the movie a little bit. This movie, the budget for this movie was around $150 million. Now, not to, bang on Supergirl again, but this movie came out in 2021, Adrian, during the pandemic, and it still pulled in 432 million worldwide during the fucking pandemic. So, and it was Labor Day weekend, so it was, pandemic is still early on. But anyways, it did pretty well from a box office standpoint, especially for the time. And then the critics and the fans both had a pretty positive response to this movie. It also connects a handful of things and corrects some things. So Iron Man, the first Iron Man, this is the first time we heard about the 10 Rings as an organization. It was the terrorist group out in the Middle East, right?
Right.
So we learned that the 10 Rings are actually rings that have powers, and we see in this movie. Well, get you back. Oh. Boom, there we go. The Iron Man 3 retcon was probably the biggest. Most people, I think 99% of people, hated the fact that Ben Kingsley's Trevor Slattery was the Mandarin in Iron Man 3. You were one of them. I didn't mind because I didn't fucking know who the Mandarin was, so it didn't bother me. But but also it's not lost on me why Iron Man fans would have been pissed, you know. So they kind of corrected that in a way. They made Wenwu, the dad of Shang-Chi, is technically the Mandarin. He says, I've been called many names over the years. That's one of them type shit. So they corrected it, changed it, made it a little bit better. Pick your fucking description. And we also find out that Wenwu kidnapped Trevor Slattery after the events of the, of his little fake terrorist run. Instead of killing him, he kept him alive in his dungeon as a court gesture. So, because he was funny, he was amusing. Right. You just fucking make everybody laugh. Go ahead, tell us a joke, Trevor. So Trevor's a character, dude. He's one of my favorite Marvel non-powered fucking dumbass characters. I thought he was great in Wonder Man. Fucking bring him back. I don't care. Give him his own fucking movie. If it was DC, they'd be giving him his own fucking movie.
There's that.
A whole show dedicated to fucking Trevor Slattery. How did you feel about Wenwu as the villain in this movie? Shang-Chi's dad.
Because I think they, what do you call it? They nerfed him.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
For him to be the Mandarin, we should have seen. They gave us a lot about his history, but I think the fact that they didn't show what he actually did, they kind of more talked about it.
Yeah.
Was like a disservice to the character.
Okay. We did see him fight though. We saw he can throw down.
Sure.
And we saw that he was, I don't think they explained it enough what those rings were doing to him. I take that back. They definitely did. They talked about how they were kind of corrupting him. It's almost like Wanda using the Darkhold, right? The more you use it, the more it's going to fuck you up. What they did not do, and I think this was intentional, was they never really explained where the rings came from and the origin. So
I think they're technology, just like all the other shit. The bangles, the all that.
Right.
It's they probably couldn't explain it or don't need to explain it. It's like the Tesseract. Where did that come from?
Right.
That kind of bullshit.
Oh, I think these are going to come back into play, and I think they're going to be a big deal moving forward. So we'll talk about that later. But we also don't really know exactly what the rings do in this. We kind of an idea, but they never sat down and gave you the fucking, the 101 on what to do with these rings.
It's probably one of those situations like, we talk about alien technology. And the reason that we got Velcro is because they didn't really know what the shit that they got it from really was supposed to do.
Right.
Or we got, fiber optics because we really didn't know. They didn't know what the original thing was. They couldn't figure it out, but they was able to get something out of it.
Right.
So I think a lot of this technology, this ancient technology, people don't know what the original purpose of it and what the extent of it is. They just figure out a couple of things that it can do, and that's what they use them for.
Absolutely. So the rings, we know they're fucking crazy powerful. We know that in a fight, fucking Shang-Chi can take them back. So we saw that. And I'll talk about his power in a little bit, but let's talk about what we don't know about the rings. We don't know their origin. We don't even know what the fuck they're made of. So there was a post-credit scene here. And this post-credit scene in Shang-Chi, I think, is going to end up being one of the most important post-credit scenes moving forward. I think when people say there's no direction, we don't know what's happening, I think there's a lot of story being told. People just ain't fucking paying attention. In the post-credit scene, you got Wong. He shows up. He brings Shang-Chi and Katie to the Sanctum. And they got Bruce Banner with his little fucking arm brace. And Captain Marvel, they're on these holograms, right? These futuristic Zoom calls. They're analyzing the rings. They discovered a couple things. One, Wong says they're not magic. Carol says they're not any alien tech that I know, and that they are older than the thousand years that Wenwu had them. So remember, Wenwu was over 1,000 years old.
Correct.
So they're even older than that. So Bruce, Wong, and Carol are all like, we have no fucking idea. They're not vibranium. They're not Chitauri metal. They're nothing we've seen before. And Shang-Chi used these at the end of the movie when he's fighting the dragon and all that shit, right? After using them, the rings started emitting a beacon, sending out a signal into the universe, or maybe even the multiverse. So what does that tell me? That tells me that these fucking rings belong to somebody else.
Yep.
And
it's tech.
It's tech. It's something that is either maybe in another, maybe it's part of the multiverse. Maybe it's another fucking universe. That's why no one can tell the origin of them. It also tells me that I think what you just said a few minutes ago is going to turn out to be the case here. I think that they don't know what they can do with these rings. Right. I think they're just scratching the fucking surface. I think that we do know that the rings give you definitely some superpower abilities, definitely super strength, shit like that. You can charge up energy. You can blast with the beams. We also know that while you're wearing them, you're pretty much invulnerable. You're not going to age. That's why this dude was 1,000 years old and still looked like he was 52. So, but that's all we know. There's a lot less. We don't know more than we know about the rings.
Right.
And then we also see that her sister reforms the 10 rings at the end of the movie, even though she told her brother that she wouldn't. So, one thing that was interesting too about the rings was, remember when the dad was using them, they were blue. And then when Shang-Chi took them over, they changed gold to kind of match his energy. So if the ring sent out a beacon, Adrian, and no one knows where the fuck they came from, do you think that, number one, did Shang-Chi possibly alert Doom? Could Doom be onto these rings? Doom's a tech guy.
Doom, like from another universe?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Right?
Yeah, but I can't see why would it call Doom. Oh, you're just saying this thing transmitted.
Yep.
And Doom, through some means, had the ability to
he's Victor Von Doom, right? I mean, you get some of these characters like that are geniuses in the universe, and they look for certain things, right? Oh, we got Xavier's always got the fucking cerebral. He's got the blanket. He's got the helmet, right? So, but he realizes, oh, there's been all this, energy being used here. So let's go find what the fuck's going on here. So I do think that these could have maybe alerted Doom. The other thing is, did Shang-Chi cause an incursion here somehow? I mean, they fucking broke this wall open. The damn dragons coming out. Oh my God. You're using the rings like crazy. Did that possibly trigger an incursion? That one's probably a little more far-fetched. Maybe it's not. Who knows? All I know this. I'm going to tell you why Shang-Chi is kind of like a big deal, and he's going to whip some ass in Doomsday. I think he is. We're going to talk about the Chi, not the part of his name, the actual Chi. The Chi in the MCU. I was watching this, and my wife was like, does he have powers? Like, kind of. He's got Chi. But in the Marvel Universe, technically, everybody can have Chi. Chi is like, think of it as like the Force in Star Wars. It's out there. Not everybody knows how to access it. Not everybody knows how to use it, but it's there. That's what chi is in the MCU. And we're talking MCU here. So in this mystical village, Ta Lo, chi is tied to the nature and the magic of the great protector, the dragon that we saw at the end of this. So anyone can technically train their mind and body, but the people from Ta Lo have learned to align their internal life force with the external energy of their environment. And because Shang-Chi's mother was the guardian of Ta Lo, Shang-Chi has a genetic innate attunement to this energy. So he didn't have to train. He's already fucking tuned in, dude. He's born locked in. It's not a superpower, though. He was born actively using it. It was a dormant pool of energy that required him to balance his mind before he could tap into it. Okay. Here's how it works, though. Best way to explain this. We'll talk about the difference between Wenwu and Shang-Chi. Force versus force. Wenwu is an aggressive fighter. He creates a massive amount of kinetic energy using the rings, slams it into its target. It's rigid, it's destructive, it's linear. Shang-Chi's method is more about flow, redirection. He learned this from his mom. He works on the principle of a vacuum or a fluid. Like instead of putting up a hard wall to block an incoming attack, Shang-Chi uses his chi to match the speed and frequency of the incoming force, wraps his own energy around it, and redirects it.
It's literally like two different forms of martial arts.
Yes.
I think Taekwondo redirects or something like that.
Yep.
I fact check, but
no, I think you're right.
Yeah, one is brute force and one is using your opponent's force momentum against them by redirecting.
Yep. And then the scene when his I guess it was his grandmother his aunt trained him with the falling leaves. She shows him that by moving his hands in this kind of circular motion, his internal energy creates this draft. So he's not like grabbing the leaves. His chi is gripping the air from around them. So you can use pretty much everything in the atmosphere because the chi, again, is like it's like the Star Wars force. It's there. Not everyone is tuned into it. Again, and Shang-Chi had that innate ability. So what can he do with it? So he unlocks this chi when he's training with his aunt. His power set then expands from just this martial arts, supernatural manipulation. He can aerokinesis, wind manipulation, so he can generate localized currents of wind. We see this when he practices his form, pulling water and leaves into, a perfect flowing orbit around his body. In combat, he can use that to create air cushions to break these massive falls, to throw concussive gusts of wind that knock opponents back. Because he's not superhuman. So you're like, how the fuck's he getting slammed around and not shattering every bone? But he can use this wind manipulation. So as someone smacks him across the room, he can use this power of this skill to kind of soften the crash, right? Kinetic absorption and redirection. This is his ultimate defensive tool. So when his dad's firing these high velocity punches or blasting a ring at him, Shang-Chi uses this open palm Tai Chi style. That's what it is, Tai Chi. Infused with chi to safely catch the blow. He absorbs the impact into his own body's energy field, loops it into his stance, and then hurls the same kinetic force right back at his opponent. So he can capture the kinetic energy his dad's fucking blasting at him, redirect it right back at him.
Okay.
Supernatural strike amplification. So even without the 10 rings on his arms, his open palm strikes massive power, like supernatural punch, dude. He can focus his chi into that point of impact, and his strikes would emit this golden orange shockwaves that could shatter stone, even push back god tier type of villains. So this motherfucker, even without the rings, it's weird to say he's not super powered because it sounds pretty fucking super powered. He's just tapped into this chi way beyond the average person.
So we had this conversation, I think, weeks or months ago, sometime in the past.
Sometime in the last 3 years.
Yeah, sometime between then and now, we had this conversation about, what is super powered mean? So when you think about super powered, you think about like the Hulk or Superman or something like that. But when you more and more of these powers seem not
Mm,
to come from the person.
right.
They're just a device to channel something that's coming from somewhere else.
Right.
Like Scott's optic blast,
Yeah.
Havoc's energy, um Wanda's magic. It comes from somewhere. Doctor Strange's magic
Mhm.
comes from, Barry,
Speed Force.
Speed Force.
Yeah.
He channels the Speed Force, which also
Right.
envelops him to keep him from fucking burning up at light speed.
Mhm.
So it's like the more you look into these powers, I mean, I would really consider like a Superman like a superhuman person.
Yes.
Most people are just they're tied into a specific thing in order to channel something else.
Mhm.
Not It's not coming from within them.
Right.
Like a Wolverine, that's him.
Right. His healing
Right.
factor. Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, it's still cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to be able to jump off a building and cushion myself too.
Right.
But
Well, you're not tapped into your chi enough, Adrian.
yeah, fuck that. We're not gonna find out after I jump though. Speaking of that, how is it that like a cat can like jump off of a fucking 5-story? I don't know about 5, but they can drop
Yeah.
like a long
Always land
way,
on their
dude.
feet, dude.
They just land on not only just land on their feet, just
Right.
keep on moving and shit.
They're missing the paws, maybe the cushion. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not a cat expert, but I know that if we tried to do it, it'll be the last fucking thing you'd ever jump off of in your life. I was like, you see that fucking video of the girl who was bungee jumping somewhere and they forgot to hook the damn?
Yeah. Oh, she wasn't bungee jumping.
No,
she was just
just
thrown
getting
off a fucking bridge. They got all them cats. I mean, I don't know if they got all of them, but somebody went to prison for that shit for murder.
I think they did get them all. I think they tried to run and they hunted them down. Yeah, I mean that was wild,
That's
dude.
fucked up.
Crazy. Anyways, not to bring the mood down, but let's talk about the rings though. So the way that Shang-Chi uses the rings is because of his chi. So these rings reacted to him and they turned gold because his chi was in perfect harmony with the universe. So they were blue because his dad was an asshole, pretty much. And they're gold with him because he's not an asshole. And his chi allows him to command the rings with the fluid, I guess, telekinetic precision rather than just throwing them like blunt objects. He uses them a lot different than his dad too. I think that was one of the coolest parts of the movie when they're fighting and they're like literally the rings are going back and forth. And then when they each got 5 of them and you see how different what they're doing with the rings.
Right.
And I mean, he picked this up from his mom as a kid and then his aunt, when he went back to Tao Lo. So the 10 rings, what are they and what are they not? We're gonna sum this up. They're modeled after traditional iron rings that are actually used in Hung Gar, martial arts training. They're worn as armbands. But the origin of these in the MCU, they're a fucking mystery, dude. We literally have no idea. We talked earlier, Wong, Bruce Banner, Captain Marvel, they have no idea what they are. Bruce Banner says they're not vibranium. Wong says they're not any magical artifacts that he knows of. They have no spell signatures in Kamar-Taj in their archives about these rings. Carol Danvers says they're not any known alien tech to her. They don't match Chitauri shit. They don't look like Kree, Skrull, none of that stuff. They're crazy old. They're well over 1,000 years old. What do they do though? So wearing them makes you immortal. It has this kind of passive ability. While you're wearing them, you won't age, you won't get sick, you won't even weaken. They also grant you God tier strength and durability. I mean, we saw Wenwu use them to shatter those castle walls to let out the fucking dragon. What an idiot. He should have watched our deep dive on the Appalachian Mountains. Bro, if they're calling your name and it's someone that it sounds like someone you know, don't fucking go there. He's like, my wife's behind there. No, it's not, dumbass. A big fucking dragon. You fucking jackass. The rings also give you the ability to control them mentally. They can be fired off the arms at high speed. You can call them back like fucking boomerangs. The rings can be linked together using energy to create whips, chains, even floating platforms so the user can step on them. Dynamic resize, and they instantly and magically alter their size to fit the forearms of whoever is currently commanding them. So I think what we've seen is just scratching the surface with these rings, and I believe they're going to come back into play. I think whatever Doom's plan is, I think he's building something. I think he needs some kind of device. I think he knows that these incursions are happening, and I think he's maybe the cause for them. But either way, in what he wants to do to create Battleworld, I believe he's going to need these rings among plenty of other things. So when you say there's no fucking direction, shut the fuck up and pay attention.
What's interesting is that if he's the Mandarin, his father.
Yeah.
So the Mandarin actually wore rings on his fingers.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Each one had like different powers or something, right?
Yeah. Yep. It was 10 rings, and they were finger rings, not bracelets.
Yep.
So that's kind of a twist.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, how you think these are going to show back up in fucking Doomsday? Well, obviously they will. Shang-Chi's going to be there, but
right. I guess your question is, are they going to be something that Doom is looking for?
Yes,
right.
That part.
It depends on what he's trying to do, and what power source is required.
Yeah.
What would make sense is that, well, in the first Secret Wars, it was the Beyonder.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't need an outside power source. He was the power.
Right.
Now, in the second one, it was the Molecule Man. So let's assume that since we haven't seen the Beyonder, right, and it'd be kind of hard to introduce him at this state, right, that we're going to go with somebody that we kind of know, or some tech that can be easily explained,
or both.
So he's going to have to find some kind of source. But I'm not sure if the rings, but we don't know what they do.
Correct.
Completely, right? So, but I'm not sure that the rings are going to be the object that he's looking for, that to do the things that he wants to do.
I think he's going to be looking for multiple objects. I think he's going to want the fucking bangles. I mean, obviously there's no more stones, but
actually you might be right because of the
runes
chest,
and shit. Right? Yeah. I think he's going to want maybe Wanda for her, her to use the Darkhold. I think he's going to. I think Loki's going to play the role of like either the Beyonder or the Molecule Man, as far as like where the power comes from. Now, there's a couple things. One, he could want them for a power that we already know of, or again something that we don't know, because they do grant you God tier strength and durability. They also prevent you from aging, getting sick, or being weakened. Now, if his plan is to destroy the last couple Earths, universes, and create his own battle world, maybe he needs these so that when Battleworld, in order to do that, it doesn't fucking tear him apart.
So, I guess what is your thought as to the reason that he's even creating Battleworld? Because the Beyonder did it out of curiosity.
Yep.
What does Doom get out of creating Battleworld other than bringing all these different individuals together so he can steal from them?
That.
You think?
Well, a part of it. So, and I think this is where they're going to lean more on 2015 Secret Wars. Because you got the incursions, right? Remember, it opens with the last incursion. And at this point, we have no idea that Doom is kind of in the background, but we find out later on that he knew about these incursions. In fact, he was even triggering incursions to save his own world. And what he did, instead of just saving his own world, he created his own world. So I think that that's his plan here. I'm sure there's going to be some type of issue where the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, the Avengers somehow caused some incursions that affected him personally. So some of it's going to be a layer of revenge. But I think he wants to create Battleworld because Doom's one of those characters that he believes he knows better than everyone else. So instead of listening to whatever your fucking plan is, why don't we just, let's have another incursion and I'll take the pieces and make my own world and I'll rule. So I think that gives you, it's a very open-ended way to tie in a lot of these artifacts, whatever the fuck,
Sure.
So now the what they've done in the MCU so far is they've set up several potential reasons for the incursions. Shang-Chi using these rings could have possibly caused one. Breaking out the fucking dragon, who knows? I think, get more obvious is like Cap going back in time, staying in a timeline and living his life with, Peggy, even though he wasn't supposed to. Maybe some of the shit Loki did. Obviously Captain Marvel and Monica Rambeau. She literally stopped an incursion but went to another fucking universe. So there's all kinds of things that could play. I mean, Doctor Strange with his spell, Wanda using the Darkhold. There's a lot of potential triggers for these incursions.
2 questions.
Yes.
Do you think that Wanda by herself could stop these incursions with her magic?
No.
No?
I think it's too vast because it's a multiversal thing. I think that it would drain. I think she'd fucking kill herself trying to stop.
What if we haven't even seen the limits of her power?
True.
Right?
Yeah.
So the other question is, in your mind, in this, what would you want to see most in this movie if you could have anything, if you could whisper in the director's ear and say, hey, put this shit in? What would you want to see most?
I'm gonna give you a few things. One, the Thanos fucking spine snatch. I need to see that. I fucking need it. I need to see, and I think that goes hand in hand. I need to see God Emperor Doom. I need to see the white suit, the super powered. I need to see that. This is, I guess, maybe it's a fucking cheap answer because we kind of already know this is gonna happen, but the X-Men and Avengers going at it, like a real fucking fight between those two, absolutely. And I want to see Battleworld. I want this to end in Battleworld.
Right.
I have a feeling it's gonna. I think it's going to be this era's Infinity War, and I think it's gonna end with Battleworld. And at first, Doom being the only one knowing what's going on. Everybody else is mind wiped. You're an NPC, bro. You're just walking around doing a job.
I agree with you on the fucking spine snatching.
I mean, who wouldn't, right?
There's that. And I mean, even if it's the very end, you hear a fucking swoosh, a door creak open. I don't get the fucking cloud parts, whatever. Smoke clears. T'Challa walks out of one of these motherfuckers, man.
Yeah. I mean, he should be in Battleworld. This is a perfect opportunity to bring to resurrect dead characters,
right?
And pull them from another universe. Battleworld is literally the remains of a bunch of universes, right? So it could be one that it don't need to be this Earth 616 version. Right, it'd be a whole nother fucking. He's not the only T'Challa in the multiverse, right? So, anyways, that is the deep dive into Shang-Chi. We are switching things up a little bit, so. We're gonna push Eternals back a couple weeks. You're supposed to watch Eternals next. Holy shit! I'm gonna do it, Adrian, because I'm a man of my word. But holy fuck, I'm gonna probably need to be intoxicated to watch that movie. But we are going to switch things up a little bit because of the fact that Spider-Man: Brand New Day comes out in 3 weeks. We're gonna watch the Captain America Winter Soldier show, or what the fuck is it called? Falcon Winter, the goddamn show. Y'all know what it is. Watching that show. Then the week after, we're doing Spider-Man Far From Home, then No Way Home, because those movies are back to back, and that's going to lead us right into Brand New Day. So, and then after Brand New Day, we'll stomach the fucking Eternals. So, there you go. Anyways, Adrian, got a question for you, sir.
Yep.
Who is the motherfucking hidden gem today?
Well, today. Since we're talking a lot of X-Men stuff, we got one of their nemesis. Right? Okay. Today's hidden gem is the bastard himself, Bastion. Right?
Motherfucker.
So he's written as one of the X-Men's deadliest and most chilling adversaries. Unlike brute force villains, he's a human sentinel hybrid possessing near indestructibility, telepathic immunity, and the terrifying ability to forcibly. I'm gonna take some dead people. He's almost got like the raise the dead kind of shit. So he can forcibly convert living humans into deadly prime sentinels. So I mean, he can command metal sentinels, but then he can create his own army of like sleeper cell humans, sentinels. So Bastion was born from the fusion of Master Mold and Nimrod, right? So like two dudes having a baby.
Yep.
The X-Men forced this combined mechanical entity through the Siege Perilous Crystal Portal, and the magic stripped away his outer robotic plating, leaving him with total amnesia and a flesh and blood human body under the alias Sebastian Gilbert. We get it more into his origin later, but his powers. So rating of so he's a super genius, of course, for possessing quantum computing banks that process millions of data streams simultaneously. Superhuman strength, lift 10 tons, with the ability to adapt his chassis to push past 50 plus tons. Supersonic flight, exceeding Mach 1, which is 767 miles an hour, via cybernetic thrusters and techno-organic wings. Superhuman durability, making him nigh indestructible against localized explosions and continuous physical trauma. Energy projection, he can fire sustained concussion or disintegration blast and optic blast. And so because it's like the Matrix, he can, download techniques and from thousands of military close quarter combat databases. So he doesn't have to actually have the skill like a Captain America. He just download the shit like the Matrix. So what's amazing about his powers? So he's got like a Borg-like hive mind. He operates a localized cybernetic network to technopathically command a radius of 1,000 miles, directing millions of sentinels simultaneously. Instantaneous adaptation. So his internal processing unit analyzed every incoming energy frequency in milliseconds, shifting his molecular armor to render him 100% immune to that specific attack. Damn. That's also like the Borg. So if you if you watch Star Trek, when they would change the frequency of their lasers, and every time they hit, they might destroy one Borg ship. But then, of course, as soon as that laser hit, it goes to the entire hive, and then all the other Borg ships immediately adapt their shields to withstand that frequency of laser. So that's what he does. True psychic blackout. He possesses a class 10 telepathic block, meaning his hybrid machine human mind acts as a complete brick wall to a mega level telepath like Jean Grey and Professor X. So he literally shows up as Cerebro is not going to detect him at all, his mind at all. He's just completely blacked out. He uses,
so he could get under that blanket and no one would fucking know.
Chuck would definitely know. He would definitely know. Prime Sentinels. He uses micro nanotechnology to inject humans with a virus, transforming ordinary civilians into weaponized sleeper cyborgs that are hidden from mutant detection sensors. So injects them with a virus. They don't know they're Sentinels, and nobody else does either because they can't detect them as a mutant. So some of his greatest feats. He during Operation Zero Tolerance, he hacked and processed 100% of the data in the classified Xavier protocols, exposing every X-Man weakness and capturing Professor X. So that's like some Batman shit, right? Batman, he has a protocol for every Justice League member. Well, old Chuck boy, because he can't run from them, he has his own. Well, anyway, he broke in and stole that shit, right? Necrotechno Resurrection. He uses a modified strain of, we talked about this, a virus to bypass death itself, reanimating. No, this is actually different. Reanimating dead anti-mutant extremists to create an undying cybernetic human council. Chronal gateways at peak power. He can generate localized time-space rifts, opening portals into alternate timelines to summon endless waves of future Nimrod Sentinels. Okay. So he is a human robot hybrid himself. He can technopathically control metal sentinels thousands of miles away.
Yeah.
He can inject living humans with a virus that turns them into sentinels, right? He can wake the dead up into a version to dead people up into a form of fucking sentinel. And then on top of that, he can open up a fucking portal and bring Nimrod class sentinels from the future to him as well. So this cat is, I mean, he's surrounded by shit, right? Now, it's interesting that you brought up Jubilee because this is like a Squirrel Girl moment, right? So one of his greatest failures, the Jubilee short circuit at the height of his power, and this is where we don't underestimate Jubilee, right?
Yep.
At the height of his power, his arrogance caused him to underestimate Jubilee, whose maximum yield plasma fireworks burst directly into his face, over-concentrating his adaptive receptors, and fried his central mainframe and allowing S.H.I.E.L.D. to shut him down. So, all that shit that he's able to do, he's looking at this little girl thinking not that much of a threat and got his ass kicked.
Which we saw pretty much that in X-Men 97 season 1.
Right.
Towards the end. It's just she grabbed his face or some shit and fucking pretty much did that.
Correct. Since he's pretty much not human in his mind, he has no romantic interest. He's not like Scott with he's not like Scott with all the fucking all the redheads around him and shit. He has a mission, not romance. He operates on 0% romance and 100% directive, meaning he does not experience human romance and views people strictly as assets, biological hosts, or statistics for mutant extinction. So I thought it'd be interesting to add some like hidden and little known facts. So after a brief system shutdown, his automated subroutines hacked Weapon Plus servers and permanently deleted petabytes of top secret data, putting a massive target on his back from shadow agencies. In an alternate timeline where the Terrigen Mist were killing mutants. So the Terrigen Mist is the mist that gives the Inhumans their power, right? Well, in this particular timeline, it was killing mutants, and Bastion, who wants to wipe out mutants, normally used his processing power to save mutant kind solely because his logic core realized that if all mutant dies, his core purpose for existing would mathematically drop to 0. So he's saving the mutants because he wants to save himself, basically. Funny facts, when he was first turned human, his amnesia was so severe that he spent months fully convinced he was just a regular guy named Sebastian, entirely unaware of the world-ending programming in his subconscious. After getting blown up, he frequently gets reduced to just a cybernetic head sitting on the desk. So his head got decapitated. That's the word.
Yes, that too.
And basically, some programmers just stuck his head on a stick and used his head as a projector to prank the X-Men. Despite being a walking arsenal of devastating laser weaponry and cybernetic plating, he bizarrely chose to dress as an average late 1990s dad, often sporting a drab.
Did you say 1990s?
1990s.
Okay.
with the beige trench coat and turtleneck.
Damn.
So how does he compare to an Omega level mutant or an Omega level enhanced? The short version is this. While he can't match a lot of people in the strength category.
Okay.
He's not a brute force kind of a guy, right? So he would get you on the technology and the strategy. So that's essentially because he's not an Omega, because an Omega level mutant or an Omega level enhanced. And let me explain those two terms, right? So Omega level mutant only exists in the Marvel universe. There is no
Right.
Omega level mutant in DC Universe. However, there are Omega level enhanced humans in the DC Universe.
Okay.
So that's how I use that as a kind of a distinction. So,
Mhm.
all Omega level mutants are Omega level enhanced, but all Omega level enhanced are not mutants.
Right.
That makes sense,
Yep.
right? So an Omega level enhanced has no upper limit to their power. Obviously, he does,
Right.
right? So Storm, she has no upper limit. Wanda has no upper limit. Iceman has no upper limit. So he can't deal with that kind of raw
Mhm.
power. So he'll figure out some kind of technology way or strategic way to deal with that kind of a threat. So I mean, I thought this was an interesting character. Yeah, it's also interesting that he gets his ass kicked by one of the what you would think is, and that's how people sleep on people like Jubilee, right?
Right. Yeah.
You think that I have all this power or I have this, so the arrogance kicks in,
Mhm.
and create a blind spot for yourself,
You
and you just
underestimate it,
fucking
should blow you the
take it
fuck
out,
up.
right?
Yeah.
So anyway, Bastion, I think this is a good character. So I did this matchup between Bastion, who was it? Ultron and Brainiac,
Okay.
right? So the short of it is that out of those three, Bastion is the lesser of the three
Okay.
because Ultron would just bash the shit out of Bastion, just destroy him from out of physical strength.
Yeah.
Also, Ultron has basically more computing power than
So
Bastion.
Bastion couldn't tap in and control Ultron.
He could,
Yeah.
but I don't think that's the way it would work out.
Got it.
Right. And then Brainiac would win overall
Yeah.
because he's just his computing power is just
Right.
no scale. He's like an Omega level computer, right?
Mhm.
I mean, his computing power just knows no scale.
Yeah.
So
I feel
it.
like he's kind of
Bastion.
like if you took Ultron and Bastion and fucking combined them,
Mhm.
then you got Brainiac. Probably even
Yeah, I don't think you still would have
yeah, probably that's
Brainiac.
about as close as you're gonna get.
Right.
Hopefully we see Brainiac done properly in Man of Tomorrow if James Gunn still has his job at that point.
Right.
Who knows?
He's gonna be made by the same guy that made that fucking dude in the Red Hulk.
Yeah.
Fucking big potato head.
Well, great. Bastion the Bastard is what we should
There
call
you
that
go.
motherfucker. And that dude, he was one I didn't know shit about until X-Men 97, to
Right.
be honest.
Yeah.
So, anyways, well, we're gonna wrap up with a little bit of We Respond, but hey, you don't have to go far because other stuff comes out this week as well. You join the membership for that. We're gonna talk about Tartaria, Adrian, the hidden city. We've touched on this before. We're gonna do a little revisitation. And then we got some more other stuff. So it's a surprise. You can join that. Links in the description. But real quick, let's shout out some of the Only Comics peeps out there, the interns. Let's see. We got Mr. Huddy, sir. He said, didn't Supergirl say during the movie multiple times not to kill the villain? And you guys think it was good that she did kill him? That was one of the many reasons why I didn't like it. Okay. And I'll stop and answer that. She didn't say not to kill the villain. She told the girl not to kill the villain because she knew what it would do to her psychologically, mentally.
Correct.
This is why, and no, Mr. Huddy, no offense here, but this is why people need to pay attention more because they get so quick. Oh, I didn't like because of this, dude. They just watch the movie. They fucking explain it to you. What she implied by it was obviously the Supergirl we saw here was pretty fucked up.
Right.
I'm assuming she's killed people before. So she knows that what it's going to do to you, and she wanted to spare this little girl she wanted to keep her innocence, pretty much. So I love the fact that, and I knew that when she killed him after she told her not to, like that was my thought, but that validated for me. Oh, you were like, fuck it, let me take one for the team.
Right.
I've done this shit before. I'm already fucked up. I don't want you to be fucked up.
Correct.
And then he said that also saying Lobo doesn't deserve a show movie because Star Wars portrayed Boba poorly, says nothing about why a show or movie wouldn't work. Yes, he pops random in the comics, but he's so many cool standoff stories. Come on, man, read a comic. No, dude, you just fucking answered your own question. He has so many, he pops in random comics. He has so many cool standoff stories. So why the fuck would he need a show or movie?
Right.
Why can't he just pop into shows or movies? And it's not just because they did Boba Fett poorly. It's they did him poorly because that's a character that we don't need everything explained, dude. Like, that's what we have with Hidden Gem. And who the fuck we explain? We don't want to fucking explain everything about Boba Fett.
Right.
So no, I don't think that. I think you need to put your cerebro cap on a little bit, dude. Fucking engage the brain a little bit. Manolo says, AWAB, what Marvel should do a special feature on is Wanda versus Jean Grey. Fucking sign me up, bro. Take my money. That'd be phenomenal. Also, can we get a deep dive with White Phoenix of the Crown? That is a good one. My list is long, Adrian. It's like you start doing these. I mean, you know what this is like, the Hidden Gem. It's like Santa's list almost. C's says, AWAB, fellas, not sure if you guys seen this theory, but people have said Sadie Sink might be playing a Scarlet Witch variant. Yeah, I saw that stupid fucking theory, and we don't need her playing a Scarlet Witch variant. We already have a Scarlet Witch. I don't know how to feel about it. And how you should feel is that it's fucking stupid, but would fit with a younger mutant saga. Can we get a who the fuck is Wolverine and a Howard the Duck Hidden Gem? Howard the Duck Hidden Gem. Oh, shit. Yeah, Wolverine's definitely. Dude, I got a whole list of X-Men, so definitely. Devin Guido says, AWAB, gentlemen, love the show. Shout out from a blue-collar Brooklyn dude. Okay. Can you do a Who the Fuck is Old Man Logan? Just read the book. It was awesome. That would be an incredible animated show. Yes, it would. Metalhead Dad says, AWAB, boys, bit late, but hope you had a great Father's Day. My kids nailed it with a sweet G.I. Joe classified Sergeant Slaughter figure. Nice. I agree that I don't see Tom Cruise as Tony Stark. No, not anymore anyway, but I could see him as the Beyonder if they decide to put the character in the movie. Yeah, I mean, he could fit that role. I don't think he needs to be in the MCU at all. Looking forward to the new X-Men season tomorrow. Hopefully we get X-Man show up. I said before, I hope the MCU X-Men lead to Onslaught, but I'm thinking they might go that way with the animation. That is a great point. We didn't even talk about that. We'll talk about that more next week, but it does look like they're going. I think we'll see Onslaught at some point. And then Boyface says, this show is fucking great. Keep it up. I agree, and we're going to keep it up. All right, YouTube, shout out to some of the interns. OG Dirte says, what up, Mike and Adrian? Hope you guys enjoyed your 4th of July weekend. I've got to say, X-Men 97 knocked it out of the park. I already watched the first 3 episodes twice, and they have almost every X-Men team, X-Factor, Generation X, and one of my favorites, X-Force. X-Force intro was fire. Yes, it was. Can we get a who the fuck is X-Force? Well, you just fucking got one. Look at that. You asked, and it was already here. It was here before you even fucking asked. And do you think we see Wolverine become more savage and become a horseman of apocalypse? I was with you in the first half. I think he'll be more savage. I don't think he'll be a horseman of apocalypse, though.
I don't think he would be, but it would be interesting to see that, though.
Shit. Imagine him with fucking Omega level.
He wouldn't even need instruction. Like, let me go. Let's go. Let me get
Right.
just going out like killing shit
For
just
real,
for the
dude.
fun of it.
Then he'll get his fucking adamantium back.
Right.
Concrete Comics says, AWAB, my guys, happy 4th to y'all. X-Men 97, first 3 episodes were great so far. My opinion, the X-Force intro was awesome. Absolutely. I enjoy where the story is heading. Still haven't seen Supergirl yet, but if you guys say it wasn't that bad, I'm sure I'll enjoy it for what it is. Yeah, dude, might as well watch it. Hidden Gem suggestions. Boomerang. He's going to be in Brand New Day. Okay. Who the fuck is Suggestion Apocalypse? Well, Concrete, I'm going to give you a suggestion. You should go watch the Who the Fuck is Apocalypse that I already did a few weeks back. It's on TikTok. Check it out. Devin Vestal. It's also on one of these episodes. I forget which one it is. Devin says, AWAB guys, thanks for doing Nightcrawler for me. Yeah, I moved it up for you, bro. Are you satisfied now? Also, the binge watch option is genius. Yes. Bloody Knuckles Show says, great episode, y'all. I really like Supergirl. Could have been longer, and no post-credit scene to hype up Brainiac was dumb. I see that. I see a lot of, I really love Millie and the Momoa character, and I think in Man of Tomorrow we'll have Martian Manhunter and Wonder Woman. Clayface better hit, and Lanterns, but I know Man of Tomorrow and Batman 2 will hit. I'm pumped for Nightfall. I saw the absolute Batman's getting an animated show. X-Men 97 is peak. Never seen WandaVision. Gonna watch now. Oh, dude, what are you waiting for? Vision would be a good deep dive. He's a beast in Civil War. Yeah, until they fucking nerfed him. KS Big Dipper says, this is the best podcast in the world right now. Well, you are motherfucking right. And you have 154,000 subscribers. So, wow. Hey, give us some. Captain Canada says, AWAB, I'm absolutely loving season 2 of X-Men. This is peak Marvel animation. Can't wait for the rest of the episodes. You and me both, bro. WandaVision is probably my second best MCU show for sure. Hope we see Queen Wanda again and not when she's 52 for real.
Right.
By the time next episode drops, it'll be Independence Day for y'all. Yes. Hope it was a good one. It was great. Shout out to all the interns in the USA. Too bad there wasn't any aliens on the July 4th. No, maybe next year. Canada's day was July 1st, and it's been hot as hell up here. Yeah, dude.
Hot as hell everywhere.
Shit, we're sweating our balls
I
off.
wonder what was his first one? He said Wanda was his second.
Yeah, what's your first one, Cap? I bet Loki. I mean, how could you not? Or Daredevil. Let us know, Cap. McSkeeter, AWOB, gentlemen, what a scorcher week. Yeah, you ain't lying.
Yeah, right.
I don't know how hot it was by you. As hot as ball sacks. That's what my temperature thing said. But shit, my Wisconsin ass is not used to this 100-degree and humid weather. Yeah, it was over 100 here.
Yo, dude, my pool, the Saturday got up to like 88 degrees.
Damn.
Pool water. Dude.
That does not feel good, no.
Damn.
I assume you finished Vox, Adrian. What did you think of the cliffhanger?
I have not finished it yet.
Well, there's cliffhanger coming, so.
Yeah.
He'll tell you about it when he finishes it. And I just watched the first 3 episodes of X-Men. I think we need a who the fuck is X Factor. Well, look at that. It's fucking there.
Right.
But y'all stay cool out there. Have a great weekend. Dude, my AC in my room has been on for 27 days straight. I haven't turned it off. So.
Yeah. Even when that little tsunami we had come through here, man, it's like, no, still running.
Yep.
Both of them, actually.
For real. Bills 23 Iffy says, I was thinking instead of Doom doing the resets, Franklin Richards and Nate X doing the Marvel Reborn storyline, which had the Avengers, X-Men, and Fantastic Four. Franklin Richards did put everything back together. So I think that will happen again. Sons of Sekhmet, Hidden Gem, very obscure. Nth Man, Marvel, NTH Space Man. You heard of this motherfucker?
No.
Okay, I've never heard of him. Akima Moore, AWOP fellas, because I know you guys haven't seen a lot of top-rated movies, I'll ask if y'all seen The Prestige. I've seen The Prestige. You seen that?
Which one is that?
With Hugh Jackman, the whole magician thing.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty cool.
They pretty much tackle the whole paradox y'all were discussing in a brilliant way. Oh, with the clone shit. I got to watch that again because I don't remember it. Also, I was waiting to see what you guys had to say about Supergirl. I knew Disclosure Day was a bust, but it looks like I'll be waiting for Supergirl to stream in a couple weeks. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, too, is it ain't, you ain't going to help it at the box office now, dude. It's barely hit. So if you think, I'm going to help him out, it's too late for that.
Yeah.
You might as well just wait. Let's see.
Save yourself a liver or some shit.
For real. Well, Devon here says, you guys are concussed. Did Supergirl bash you on the head? No, I'm not. I haven't been concussed in a long time, actually. I'm just not afraid. I'm not afraid to admit when I like something, even if a lot of people don't. That's the difference. OG says, Adrian, can we get a Shadow King hidden gem? That'd be a good one. That motherfucker, he possessed more motherfuckers than Xavier, dude. Devin says, bro,
possess him like a evil or like a Diddy kind of possessing.
No, like a fucking evil kind of possession. Yeah, he fucking possessed Storm. He actually possessed Xavier in the animated series too. He was all like floating and walking and shit. Adrian just refusing to acknowledge the layers of the thesis paradox, or that even while Mike insists it isn't a thing he just made up, is sending me. It's one of the oldest paradoxes known to man. Nothing is off limits here, Devin. We will question everything. I mean, hey, the Bible is one of the oldest paradoxes known to man too, right? And then, OG said the movie you were thinking about, the teleporters, is called Jumper. You talking about that last week? I don't remember what you were saying about it, but
I don't remember what I was saying about it either. But I have seen Jumper. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, you couldn't remember the name of it last week. You're saying something about some teleport. Well, OG remembers.
Oh yeah. That's another movie that I would just turn on and watch too. Yeah, pretty cool.
Movies I do that with Adrian are Wall-E. I actually put that on last night. Yeah, Wall-E. I can put that on at any point. No,
never seen it.
Come on, dude. You know what?
Never seen it.
Unbelievable. It's better than The Matrix.
As a matter of fact, it's some movies that they will make 18 versions of, and like nobody's like, dude, can you please just stop? Just stop.
That's what Snyder does. The black and white, the white and black.
A movie like Jumper, you're just like, why didn't they make another one? Right?
Well, we don't know because we didn't fucking make one. Maybe they fucking ran out of money. Who knows? Maybe no one went to the show. No one went to go see it, like Supergirl. But I know what people did come to see. They came to see us, Adrian. I need you to switch because my fucking iPad's dead here. There we go. Well, Adrian's been fun. Yep. Fun week here. Sorry that it's delayed, but hey, better late than never, as they say.
There you go.
There's a stupid fucking storm. I heard there's a tornado came through Connecticut too. Did you hear about
really?
That? Yeah.
It happens every few years.
Yeah. And I mean, they say tornado, but like, dude, it spins like 4 times and then it hits a fucking, mountain somewhere because it ain't flat up here.
No.
And it'll wreck shit for like 14 seconds. And,
The big thing with that is not even the fact that it's a tornado, like in, the middle of the country or some bullshit.
Right.
It's the fact that we're in the woods and as what you saw yesterday, fucking trees falling down and branches snapping. It whips up they become basically projectiles.
Right.
These leaves, these branches, these trees, they literally, and we're surrounded by all this forest and shit.
Sure.
So we just basically all this wind turns everything around us into projectiles. That's the real big thing.
There was some hail too, dude. I saw some pictures.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So.
Oh shit.
But we're all safe and sound now. We got the power back. So appreciate y'all watching. Appreciate you jumping on. Definitely check out other stuff. We're getting to some fucking tinfoil talk there, as we always do. We appreciate all the interns. If you're not an intern, better chance to join right now. There's not a better opportunity, actually. I think it's probably the best week to join, It's 4th of July, America's birthday. America's, 250 years old. Yep. It's good for its age, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, maybe we move up to Canada with the cap. So, appreciate y'all. You know where to find us. We'll be back here next week on motherfucking Only Comics.